What's going on, everybody? It is time. We are here. It is Roundtable time. I have the entire cast of the DSA. Just kidding. I only have like 3 of them plus Andrew. So we're going to start off with Luke. What's going on, Luke? Say hey to everybody in the chat.
Man, what up, though? Salute to all the people who showed up today. We about to have us some fun. Make sure that you tell a friend to chime in on the real Detroit Lions official roundtable. Do not be fooled. This is the real deal, Holyfield. Man, let's get ready to talk some football, people.
Yes, sir. And we have an exciting one today. We're going to start off fired up. But before we do that, Andrew, why don't you say hey to everybody in the chat?
Well, first off, I want to say thanks for that shade you're throwing at me.
What shade? I didn't.
The whole DSA plus Andrew.
Yeah, you really, you did. Yeah, you put on the Ray-Ban shade blockers too with the umbrella, but that's right. A little bit.
Anyways, I want to say what up to Kyle Webb, Ghost Gunner, Angelo. I'm not attempting your last name. I'm sorry, man. Titus Brown, Randy Nathaniel, and You Can Hate Me Now, Mackenzie. Oh, and my man D-Map Zoom. What's up, fellas?
All right, Andrew, I just want you to know I'm so bad at intros that I didn't even realize I did that, so my
bad. hey, no worries, man.
All right, we're going to swing over to you, Jim.
That's
what's going on, Jim?
Say
hey to everybody in the chat.
I wasn't feeling so good, so I'm just really glad to be back at it. And we're going to have a wonderful show. This is the real DSA, and you can come over here and get some real football talk, and we really appreciate you being in the chat. Let's get it, guys.
Yes, sir. That's a lot of real DSA, real roundtable, real football chat. And we're going to go to J-Mo. J-Mo, say hey to everybody in the chat.
What's good, everybody, man? I just want to say the cream of the crop rises to the top, man. I'm just happy to be with you guys today, man. We here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So we're going to start off with some fire today. And if you saw the thumbnail and you saw the title, you know what's going down right now. And this is something that J-Mo was very, very fired up about in the chat earlier today. And I know that he just is waiting to get unleashed to talk about this, waiting to rant, waiting to spit fire right now. So we're just going to get right into it. There's been some disrespect going around the internet regarding our quarterback. And this is serious talk because I'm a Matt Stafford super fan, and I hate disrespect going on against Matthew Stafford. So right now we're going to rank where we believe Matt Stafford is in the current QBs in the NFL. So J-Mo, we're going to head off with you. We're going to start the fire early. Sizzle it up. What's going on, man?
Well, I just want to say shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody come in here. Make sure you like the video. And I want to say, before I tell you where he's ranked, he's better than Carson Wentz. He's better than Kirk Cousins. He's better than Jimmy Trashalo. He's better than Dak Prescott, and he's better than whoever your favorite quarterback is. Now, I'm sick of arguing with these fans of like lesser fan bases because if you notice, all of the quarterbacks that we allow, and yes, I say Detroit fans, we allow people to say better than Stafford have rings. But if you don't got no rings, don't talk to me. Like seriously. Because anyway, so we got Mahomes, he's 1. We got Russell Wilson at 2. I don't like this, but I'm gonna put Lamar Jackson at 3. And then let's see. Then to me for like 4 to like 6 is kind of like interchangeable between Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, and Drew Brees, because Drew Brees is like 40 years old and Aaron Rodgers is 36 and slow. He's not as good as he once was. So I'm comfortable putting him anywhere between that 4 to 6 range. Today, I'm going to put Drew Brees at 4, him at 5, and put Rodgers at 6. And then we got guys like Deshaun Watson and, Carson Wentz coming up and Matt Ryan like that. So, but not Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott. Shut up talking
to me. All right. So you got him top 5 is what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
All right, top 5. I think we're all kind of going to be in agreement.
The thing is, Big Ben used to be Big Ben, so he would always be above Stafford because he has the rings or whatever. But see, he's not Big Ben anymore. So,
there are new guys.
It's been dwindling,
We got young dogs though that are just beasts, man. We got Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson.
But the 2 young dogs I named, Mahomes and Lamar, those are the only young dogs I put over Stafford, even if I don't like it.
Okay. All right, that's fair. I'm pretty in line with you, so I'm just going to go ahead right away before I kick it off to the next person. But so I'm in agreement with you. I'm going to put Patrick Mahomes probably at number 1, just because we've only seen very limited amount of time with him, but so far he seems pretty damn unstoppable. So I'm going to put him at number 1. Yeah, I'm just going to say my top 5. How about that? I don't want to rank them all and have everybody be mad at me, but it's going to go like this. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. Those are the 4 quarterbacks that I believe are the top of the league right now. And then I would either put Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers and then the other one. So then I'd put Stafford. I'll put Stafford at number 7. Why don't we kick it off to you, Luke? Where do you think you'd rank Stafford among all the QBs currently in the NFL?
I'm gonna probably start it off with number 1 for me would probably end up being Drew Brees.
My man.
I know he old, but I can care less. The dude's a fucking Iron Man. Number 2,
yourself, Drew Brees.
Number 2, I will probably put Russell Wilson. Number 3, I will probably go. 3 was hard for me, but number 3, I'm probably leaning towards Deshaun Watson. And number 4 would be Stafford. 5 would be Aaron Rodgers. That would be how
Mahomes not even in the top 5.
Man, you listen.
Nah, hey man, he been hating on Mahomes.
Listen,
and then look.
Listen, it's not hate. Listen, let's be honest, okay? It's not hate. What I do is this, and I've said this many times over and over, and I stand by this, is when I'm evaluating any players, I don't care who it is, any players I'm evaluating what you came into. Everybody I name came into situations where they were not expected to be anything. When Drew Brees got traded from the Chargers, he was at the thought that, he's not gonna pick up where he left. Well, he came back better than ever. Russell Wilson, a 3rd round pick. You saw the quarterbacks taking ahead of him. Shameful. He's too short, they say. He can't throw a deep ball, they say.
All I know, Luke, is last year you told me you needed to see Mahomes do it again, and he won the Super Bowl this year. Now you need to see him do it again. Hold on.
If you really listen,
and you
if you really want
Deshaun Watson,
if you really want to talk about it, did he really win the Super Bowl, or did something else win the Super Bowl? He was downright awful.
Hey man, 60-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, man.
Yeah, I hear you. It sounds good in theory. That'd be a good debate between me and you, J-Mo.
And they scored 50 straight points.
That'll be a good debate. The only reason I'm not giving Mahomes that is because I didn't like his performance in the Super Bowl, and I think he's got more than enough weapons to where he should do those things. But I feel like most people can do those things if you can do it. Like you give him those kind of weapons he got, you can do it. Stafford is going to be ahead of Mahomes just because I think Stafford make more tight window throws than Mahomes. Mahomes, to me, them receivers just not normal. That speed shit for real.
Tyreek Hill is not normal. He's probably the most underrated receiver in the league to me, probably because of the outside stuff.
Look, Angelo know me so well. I'm always different. I know. I like underdogs. Underdogs gonna get more love from me as always. Andrew said, "I still love you." Hey, I'm not saying he trash. I'm just saying that for me, everybody's hyped up, but I've seen some of the greatest QBs that people, he's so great, until all their weapons is gone, and now, he done lost a step. No, that's where he would have been if he didn't have the weapons. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, all they kept talking about, my guy loves throwing shade. It's good, Luke. Why I gotta be throwing shade? Because I like who I like, man.
Hey,
man. Funky, silly.
Look, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Luke. I don't know how you could put Deshaun Watson above Patrick Mahomes, and then you could say, all the weapons. Let's see what Watson does now that he doesn't have Hopkins.
Well, I've seen what he's done when he didn't have Hopkins. I've seen what he's done when he just had a Hopkins. That guy literally made everything about that team better. He's carrying that team on so many levels. They have tried everything in their power to get him a run game, to get him a tight end. and they just keep messing with his receiving core, whether it be injured or they trade him away, and he still performs up to par. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He's hot and cold. He's hot and cold. And then I've seen Patrick Mahomes throw throws, those blind side throws, not even looking. The confidence that he has and the swagger he has is undeniable.
That's cute.
It is cute. It is cute when he's throwing dimes without even looking. That's beautiful.
I'm just saying. Listen. Let's be honest though. Let's be honest. If you put Tom Brady on Kansas City, it's those same things happening with that receiving core. That
Tom Brady.
Okay, take Tom Brady off. Take Tom Brady off. Put Deshaun Watson over there. You telling me that same stuff ain't happening?
Nah, that same stuff is happening. I ain't gonna lie.
With them receiving core, that's
those other top 5 QBs.
And they just added that damn running back that I really wanted.
Yeah, Edward Hiller.
Yeah, Mr. Make you miss on the first tackle for real. And you got to keep into account. And Ghost going to bring up another good point. Watson also had pretty bad coaching that entire time, but he still performed. Literally, I give respect to those people who do it by themselves and they still perform. Patrick Mahomes ain't had to feel the blunt of nothing bad. It's one of the reasons why I was critical of Cam Newton, because I was like, Cam came into it with everything: 2 tight ends, 3 Pro Bowlers on the offensive line, 2 Pro Bowl running backs, receiving core, and he struggled. So I'm just saying, I like what I like. I'm just saying that man watched
Mahomes hater. He just saying like.
Oh my!
Hey, it's okay, man. Look, you can have
I'm not gonna say that you say you're not a hater because we discussed Mahomes and I'm like, this dude like the greatest QB I ever seen. All this, and he's like, let's see him do it the second year, and he won the Super Bowl. I don't need no other discussion.
They ran their way to a championship.
They were down about 10 plus points in each game, and they came back and won each game. No quarterback had ever done that. They were down about 24 and scored 50 straight points.
I feel you. Like, they ran the ball. They ran the ball.
yeah, but you're acting like any QB could have stepped up and did it. Yeah, Andy Reid, how many times have we thought that he's had a great team and he couldn't make it over the hump without Patrick Mahomes? And even though Patrick Mahomes didn't statistically put up a great game, the defense definitely were terrified of him and had to scheme for him. They did. There's no way you could say that he didn't have an effect on there once he stepped in over Alex Smith.
Okay. 1, we're not comparing him to Alex Smith. That's 1. 2, your complaint is Deshaun Watson being ahead of him. My thing is this. I'm simply telling you, for me, when I look at players, I take into account who they play, what they have around them, what they do, and what were all of the factors that go into it. When I looked at Deshaun Watson, I don't know how he keeps doing it because he's in the same boat as Stafford where he's getting a crappy end of the deal and he still find a way to get it done. When I looked at Mahomes and I'm like, I like Mahomes. I know y'all get all excited when he throw the ball and he ain't looking. Stafford did that like 2 or 3 times. Ain't nobody get hyped about that. But because this guy did it, look at him, the no look across the shoulder passes. He's the only one can do it. No,
he's not. It's only 2 quarterbacks that can do it. Put some respect on Stafford's name because I ain't seen another quarterback throw no look.
Right. So I'm just saying, like they was killing Stafford for shuffle passing it, right? But when Brett Favre did it, nope, wasn't nobody killing him.
Killing him for that sidearm, his bad mechanics. Mahomes did it. Oh my God, he's unbelievable.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like it's just crazy to me. Like everybody, I wish Stafford quit sidearm passing. As soon as Mahomes do it, nobody can make that pass but Mahomes. I'm like, I get it. I'm just telling you that he single-handedly almost cost his team that Super Bowl until they started realizing, let's run the ball.
No, they started realizing he was going against Jimmy G. So they're like, yeah, we don't got nothing to worry about.
I'm just saying, listen.
Go ahead, man. This is
I respectfully disagree with y'all. And I don't have a problem with y'all top 5. I think y'all top 5 is lit. But for me, I love the underdog. I'm sorry. Because to me, you take Ezekiel Elliott off that offensive line, and it's gonna get real. Like, why you think everybody think Barry's better than Emmett? Because Emmett had that damn line.
Because he is. What you mean?
No, Emmett had that line. That's what that was. If you take that line and get that line to Barry, Jesus.
That's true.
Just saying.
Yeah, I could respect that, Luke. I could respect that. You know, even though it's a little controversial, I got you. No problem. You can disagree.
Hey man, as long as Stafford in the top 10, Luke is cool. As long as he'll say, I thought you was gonna say something like Stafford wasn't in the top 10 and we was gonna have to fight.
No. Stafford
like, he gonna say something crazy, dog.
See, I used to have Aaron Rodgers higher, but the more I looked at Aaron Rodgers, the more I realized it's not even that he lost a step, but he had a similar situation. He came into it with a very good receiving core, a half decent offensive line, a phenomenal defense, and he got a chance to sit and learn the game. These other people was tossed to the wolves. Who in the hell was Deshaun Watson learn the game from? Who did Russell Wilson learn the game from? Who did Drew Brees learn the game from?
Facts. All right, we're gonna kick it down to you, Jim. Why don't you rank your quarterback, or just give us where you would rank Stafford in today's current QBs?
That's difficult. I'm going to tell you this much, though. I want to go with you guys about the quarterback win thing. Stafford, when I did this, I did a whole thing on this, and I think it was 2018, 19, somewhere in there, where I did the average running game and the average defense of Matthew Stafford in those years. And it came out to be he had the 21st ranked running game and 26th ranked defense in those years previous. Average. You gotta have horses around you. I think that the quarterback position, especially being judged by wins, is a misnomer. I don't agree with that at all. That being said, I like Tom Brady number one until he proves me wrong. How many rings can one man get? Of course, it's Belichick and everything. And this is a prove-it year for Brady. I think this is a prove-it year for Brady because now he's not with Belichick. We're going to see which one of those two individuals are, or maybe it was a combination of both, but we're going to see what happens when no Brady is in New England and Brady is in Tampa Bay without Belichick. I think that's going to be, that will tell me how good Tom Brady really is. Do you know what I mean? But until
he's 43.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Like, if Brady was like 36, I would be like, still, yeah, he got to prove himself. But he's 43.
No, I mean, still, though. The shape he keeps himself in, I think he's going to be.
I mean, no, we know how good Tom Brady is, but like, if he didn't win the Super Bowl, I'm like, well, yeah, he's 43.
Yeah, but
here's the thing, Jim. Here's the thing, Jim. If Tom Brady sucks this year, that what JMO just said is what every single person. Nobody is gonna say, "Oh, it was Belichick this whole time." They're just gonna be like, "Well, if this was Tom Brady in his prime, they would have won the Super Bowl." You know what I mean? He's 43.
Yeah, but we're gonna see it from both sides, though, because Belichick doesn't have Brady either.
Right. So Belichick got to prove it too. But yeah, who you number two? Go ahead.
Yeah, let me, and I apologize for chiming in, but and I think Jim on to something, but I'm going to show you how much Belichick feels about this idea of having to prove it. Who did he draft that quarterback this year?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Tight end.
He got one the year before.
You know, and you got to understand, Tom Brady's success is still going to be hinged upon a good coach. It's still going to be hinged upon a good coach, i.e., Bruce Arians. Just saying. But go ahead, finish the name of your group. I'm rocking with you right now, Jim.
I got Drew Brees number two. This guy over time has proven it over and over and over again. Short in stature, still can heave the ball. Has some of the best offenses that I've seen. But I think he's surrounded by better talent than Stafford has been, in my opinion. But yeah, you never know, But he's one hell of a quarterback. So I got him at number two. Number three for me right now is Pat Mahomes. I'm probably going to get some grief, but that's okay. That's what I think. I think Pat Mahomes is number three for me right now. Number four on my list is probably you're going to hate this one too, more than likely, but I still think Aaron Rodgers is really good, and I still think he's ahead of Stafford, and I'm going to give Stafford number five. That's my thing. And the thing is because Rodgers may be losing a step, but he did really well last year with not a hell of a lot around him. I mean, he's not. It's not like
defense was good.
The defense was good.
Aaron Jones had a run game,
and they had a run game, and they had a run game.
Yep.
So,
and that's been my formula for Detroit going to the Super Bowl for a very long time.
I'm not gonna kill you if you got Aaron Rodgers above Stafford. To me, that's no big deal.
Right. But I got Stafford 5.
Well, there's one person out of your top 5 that was in all 3 of our top 5s. And, we had to hit Luke because he didn't have Mahomes. So I got to hit you for this. Where's Russell Wilson in your ranking, man?
Russell Wilson will be 6th.
Oh, okay. All right. That was quick and to the point. All right.
Because I like Russell Wilson. I like Russell Wilson. 3rd round draft pick. Comes into the league, takes over and they paid a lot of money for that other guy,
Matt Flynn. Trust me.
Yep. They paid a lot of money. It was. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying you right. Money poorly spent. Go ahead.
But I'm saying that it took courage for them to start him. You know what I'm saying? It really did. Bevel found the guy. He scouted him at Wisconsin. He was the one instrumental in drafting Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson goes there, proves it on the field, and he has been maligned, almost his whole career for all these stupid things, to be quite honest about it. He's a hell of a quarterback. I'd love to have him in Detroit, to be quite honest about it.
You know what I find interesting, though? And I'm telling you, I know this is like a cop-out, and we can move on from this topic, but I see this one message, and I think it's a good one. He says injuries do play a part, but like,
oh, don't listen to that guy. He's a Packers fan.
Listen,
hey, man.
I'm serious. The thing you got to look at is this, though. He's saying about the injuries, but like the guy joined the first 0-16 team in NFL history. The team was so bad that by year 3, they were still trying to get the remnants of that team away. Like they couldn't even dump all the bad talent that they had. And he played 10 games after they made him after they made him try to play behind this makeshift offensive line. The next year, he came out, was lighting it up, gets blasted. Destroyed, comes out, still drop it down to Calvin Johnson for the win, and he out for the season. But after those 2 injuries, that man went a full – now, mind you, he's played 11. So he played 13 games in the first 2, right? That still is a total of 9 years left of his career. He didn't get hurt for another 8 years. So injury can't be a part of his equation. He has been on the field for 8 years straight before the back incident. So we ain't going to kill him now. Come on now, people.
Yeah, and if we're talking about injuries, Aaron Rodgers really hasn't looked good after his past couple injuries. So let's not talk about that. Broken collar problem. That's all I got to say. But yeah, so Andrew, we're gonna kick it off to you now. Where do you rank Matt Stafford in today's QBs?
Yeah, I got them more in tiers than actual rankings, and tier 1 is in no particular order: Breeze, Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and Lamar Jackson. And then right after them, I got Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, and Stafford.
Okay.
What is everybody's infatuation with the mobile quarterback?
I knew you was about to say something about Lamar. We ain't gonna do this, Luke. You already disrespected Mahomes. You will not disrespect Lamar Jackson. I knew you was gonna say something, bro.
Luke, let's not talk all over each other. J-Mo, continue with what you're saying.
I knew the moment I was like, he about to say something about Lamar, and then he just said, what is this obsession with mobile quarterback? We're not going to do this tonight.
Go ahead, I'm going to defend Lamar because, Luke, Lamar led the league in passing touchdowns last year. He also led the league in rushing yards for a quarterback. Mm-hmm. The dude was on the highlight reel week after week. Mm-hmm. So even though, he's a mobile quarterback, the dude was putting it up in both the air and on the ground. So it made him so much of a threat to the defense in every aspect. So that's why he's up there.
You do realize that Lamar Jackson, when he first came into the league, right? Like he had all the same pieces, and the only thing that changed for him was one Mark Ingram, right? You realize that, right?
Yeah, but he didn't start until halfway through the season.
Now listen, without me even getting to my point, somebody jumped to it already. That's Ghost Gunner. What happened when that Titans took away that run game? Oh, things got real, didn't it?
Hey, man, they were stopping everyone. So
no, listen, we ain't talking about everyone. We just talking about this quarterback who's
Derrick Henry won that game.
Listen, we didn't ask you who won the game. We said
you're talking about the Titans run game. They were moving the ball.
No.
Derrick Henry ran all over that defense.
But we talking about what happened when that run game died. I just want y'all to know.
And they were just fine. That's what I'm saying. Derrick Henry on the other side had rushing for 200 yards.
Oh, they was just fine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Hey, every quarterback has their off games, regardless.
I'm just saying, 14. He was on in the passing, but when he had to pass the ball more, which is a proven stat, when quarterbacks are passing the ball 45 times a game, their chances to win and go down. This is not something I'm making up. This is just something that I just paid attention to, and somebody did a study at one of my comments, and come to be, I was right. When you get over a certain amount of passes, your chances of going down is lower. So when they snuffed out that rushing attack, every time he did that read option, what they do? Teed off on the quarterback. So now he got to sit there and throw it, and they got real.
Okay, so Deshaun Watson, when you just used his lack of run game as to an asset and why he's such a good player. So how come he can't do it without a run game? But when Lamar Jackson, the run game is stuffed and he doesn't perform, he can't be a top 5 quarterback.
I'm not saying that he can't be a top 5 quarterback.
Sounds like that's what you're saying.
No, he put him in tiers. He put him in tiers, and when he put him in the tiers, he threw Lamar in there. And I'm saying, okay, cool. But with Deshaun Watson, the difference between Deshaun Watson and Lamar for me is I've seen Lamar perform without all the pieces around him, and I'm telling you, he did it at a high level. I mean, not Lamar, Watson, but with Lamar. I just said, I watched the games and I'm like, yeah, he had like 3,000 yards passing, but like in the NFL, is that really something? No, it's not.
They don't got no wide receivers. I told you that. And by the way, his wide receivers had a total of 1,400 yards. That's pitiful.
I feel you, but okay.
Like he don't got no D-hop to throw to. If he did, good Lord. So
I feel that too, but he had a Mark Ingram and a stupid offensive line.
Mark Ingram had him.
And he had Hollywood. Yeah,
Mark Ingram had him.
I'm just saying.
Like when you got Lamar Jackson, it's gonna be much easier for any runner back to run the ball, no matter who they are.
This is the best way. This is the fastest way to end this whole argument and to measure this. If you put Lamar Jackson on the Detroit Lions, is he doing everything he did in Baltimore? Yes or no?
I mean, no, but we would still be a winning team.
Wait. If you put Deshaun Watson on the Lions, is he doing everything that he's still doing in Houston?
No, but we would still be a winning team. Like we'll be a winning team with Lamar or Deshaun Watson. It doesn't matter which quarterback. But you won't be as dominant. They were 14-2. That's pretty dominant. He won't go 14-2, but we'll go 9-7.
All I know is this: Mike Vick is a fast dude. If Mike Vick had some of his best seasons with Ward Dunn. When Ward Dunn left and they gave him TJ Duckett, things got real for Mike Vick. That's all I'm going to point out. I'm not leaving it alone. I'm just going to point it out. And the same thing with Lamar. Lamar, without Mark Ingram, was like cool. But when you do a read option and you see Mark Ingram doing what he was doing, it gets real. That's all I'm pointing out.
Wow, he had a great running back. Congratulations. Like, he's still an MVP. Like, what are you talking about?
We want Stafford to have a great running back, too.
We do.
Okay.
We also want a defense, too. I mean, it's a whole team effort.
Like 1,200 yards and had 36 touchdowns. Like, you can't disrespect that.
Just got a different of opinion. That's all.
It's funny that I think it's funny that this conversation turned into why is your top 5 QBs not the same as my top 5 QBs?
I know, right? Everybody gave their top 5. I was chill, right? But then when they went to me, I said, I'm going to everybody. Everybody on the chopping block. You feel me?
Right, real. Let's move on, man.
Yeah. But I think we're all in agreement. Stafford, to us at least, we're all diehard Lions fans, and he's in that top tier. He's in that top 5, maybe top 7 of all the quarterbacks, at least in our opinions. But all right, we're gonna move on. So we got some news to talk about following the draft, going into the offseason or further into the offseason, heading towards finally the season. Hopefully everything will be opened up. Hopefully we'll have normal games, fans in the stands. Let's see what happens. But hopefully nothing crazy transpires like it did at the beginning of 2020. But first question we're going to get into today is Detroit does not have to play in London this year. What are your thoughts, Luke?
Amen. Thank you. Can we stop with these damn London games? Why they just of all the places they could have went to try to make a move for football? You know, like the people next door, Canada, Mexico. Nope, London. You had NFL Europe. What are you trying? Why did you get rid of it if you were just going to try to pull this crap? So to me, I hate the London games because you don't get the best games out of those. Like, who's finna be up that early to watch the game? I'm not. I don't care if the Lions are playing. I'm not getting up that early, especially if I don't have to. I got children who make sure that I don't get no sleep. So it doesn't make sense. And on top of that, it's like that game is nothing but a PR move to try to broaden the fan base.
Facts.
And I'm just happy that they don't have to do it. Like it's just so dumb to me. Like, I'm good on it. Like, I'm glad ain't nobody got to go over there. The people in London ain't mad. They gonna watch the same game. They gonna have their NFL tickets. Ain't nobody upset about this. So my thing is this, because it's weird when you watching the game and it's like a stadium full of people with 1,000 different jerseys on. You at a Lions Green Bay game and you see the Dallas Cowboy jersey, Jaguars. They don't even know what's going on. All they know is it's a good time to go drink beer. So I'm happy that we're not playing over there, and that they acted, because I think it was a brilliant move by them.
Okay, I'm with you for the most part. I don't like it when, especially if it counts for a home game, that takes away one of your home games. And I know, like, some people say the home field advantage isn't that important, but it is to me. And like, I can only go to a limited amount of games, so that takes away one of the 8 games that I could have possibly gone to. So it's very frustrating when they take away a home game and then it's, international. So that sucks. But I will say one positive about the London games. So I work for a company that has plants in the UK, and one of my coworkers personally told me that he knows many Lions fans from London because of when they played in 2015. And that surprised me a lot. So that's pretty cool that we have like a contingent of fans over there in the UK. But besides that, I'm with you, Luke. I'm glad that they're getting rid of them, or at least that the Lions aren't going to play. They're not getting rid of them. They're going to only continue. But Andrew, what do you think about the Lions not having a London game in 2020?
Yeah, so I just want to clarify this. It's only for this season that they're getting rid of them because of the fact that we would have to be traveling. So it's not like they're getting rid of them altogether. But I personally am 100% on board with you, Real, because to me, if that's my home game that I'm missing out on, I'm pissed. Not only as a fan, but like, it's unfair if a team in your conference has 8 home games and you have 7. I don't care what team you're versing, is just bullshit. Like, how do you dictate who does that? And it also seems like we're the ones that are getting put over there more frequently than other teams, because we've already gone over there, and I am pretty sure there's other teams that have not played in London yet. So I don't get why we're one of those teams that is potentially, one of those matchups over there. And for those of you that don't know, it was supposed to be our Jacksonville game that we were supposed to go over there. So I feel like they're just trying to send like a bad matchup, so that they can, like you said, broaden their horizon and their marketing. So I personally am so happy that they canceled this, like going over to London, because it would just suck, And I, like Luke said, I don't want to wake up at 8:00 in the morning on a Sunday to go watch my team play. Like, I'm trying to sleep and watch football from 1 till 11, not from 8 till 11. Like, dude, I can't, man.
Like, dude, I've missed some good college games. I'm like, too early, can't do it, won't do it. And it's not just that. It's not just that London game that irritates me. I hate when they make West Coast teams, or like they'll make a West Coast team travel east and they'll start the game at 1. And I'm like, y'all have no idea how much of a disadvantage it is to a West Coast team to do that. And when the East Coast team has to travel west, that game's always at 4:30 or 8. Why? Because they know that amount of time for them to get acclimated to the different time zones, to sleep and all that, it makes a difference. When that game is at 1, them West Coast teams be drawn out and exhausted. So to me, yeah, they need to do away with them long trips. Unless you're going to have them over there for the whole week, ain't no point of you doing it.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. That it just makes me mad when I have to wake up that early, especially being a fantasy football fan. No matter what team is over there, I probably have a player that's a crucial part of my team that's playing on that team that's in London any given week. So I'm always waking up, and then it's just cutting into my day. So I agree with you guys on that too. J-Mo, what do you think about the Lions not having a London game in 2020?
I mean, it is good news, but I don't know how that could be considered a home game when you're not playing in your home stadium. That's new. And I'm just trying to. But we don't have to wake up that early. Basically, usually on football Sunday, it depends, but I might sleep in and wake up at like 9 something. And usually the London games are like at like weird ass times, like 10:45. Like seriously. So I mean, I would be up, but I would just be getting up, so it would be annoying. But I just don't like the London games because the football is terrible. I mean, I remember I think I watched the Ravens blow out the Jaguars like 50 to something, and then we lost to the Ravens like 2 weeks later. What? And I'm like, where was the Ravens team that they'll play in 2 weeks ago?
Right.
And the football is bad, and that's why I don't like it. And the fans are fickle. I mean, you telling me you saw one Lions game in 2015, now you a fan? Like, thank you, but really, that's all it took. Like, oh my gosh, that was such a great comeback, guys. Oh man, I'm like, really? That like now you're a fan?
I didn't
even know our players' names. Like, the fans are fickle, and I hate all the different colored jerseys. To me, it just don't give you no inspiration to win. Like, where are my fans at? You know what I'm saying? But if they continue to do this London thing, it has to be considered a road game for both teams somehow, some way, because I don't understand how you can have a home game not playing in your home stadium. And the NFL hates the Lions, so they're going to give us every London game possible after they get rid of this, what's going on now. So it's just more ways to help us lose games, and I don't need the extra travel, because the Lions are the type of team we'll play on Thursday and then be going to London or something. Or we'll play Sunday night and then be going to London. So, because that's how they like to do it. So, I'm just not a fan.
Right. Well, I don't know a way that they could do it without using somebody's home game, because, I mean, like, if you take one game in London, that leaves you 15 games. So you're just playing 8 at home or 7 at home.
Solution, though. I got an easy solution for you, and it's real simple. It's one that they never even thought about. Just do that crap in the preseason.
Right. I mean, I think that the point of them. The point of these Lions fans that saw one game and now they're Lions fans, that's what the NFL is trying to do. They're trying to, like you guys said, expand their horizons, grow the brand and the shield. And the only way they're going to do that is through games that actually matter. I don't think that they're going to garnish any.
Sending Jacksonville and Arizona over there. Like, send Green Bay and the 49ers. Send some good teams over there. Stop sending the run-of-the-mill bum team over there.
Yeah, I mean, but then you still have that issue of whose home game are you taking? You taking Green Bay's home game, and they're going to complain. You're going to take Dallas's home game. Just
take one of the road games. Out of the division that you would usually have. Now you don't have that game because you're in London.
I do like Shades and Broken Lions idea, which is when they go into that 17th game, that can be like the neutral site.
London game?
Yeah,
yep,
that was my point. Ah, crap.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. My bad, Jim.
Well, Jim, we're going to you next. So, what do you think about the Lions not having a game in London in 2020?
I love it. I hate the London games. They don't even know who Gronk is over there. They have no idea about American football at all. Football's called soccer over there, man. There's no reason to be over there other than money for the NFL. And why do they send the Lions over there? They're the lovable losers. So that's why they do it. They crap on us so many ways, man. I feel like they put every time the schedule comes out, I'm like, yep, they tried to kill us here. They tried to kill us here. First 5 games are like, most of them are always on the road. It seems like it does seem like the league does have it out for the Lions. I really don't know why, but I'm Detroit versus everybody in my thought. And I really dislike having to go there a lot because the Lions have been over there a lot. It's not like I don't know who's been there more than us, to be honest, but we had been there.
I can name a bunch of them.
Oh, really? Because they seem like we've been there.
I only remember 2 games.
Really?
One time the
played
Chiefs,
at least
one time the Chiefs. I don't even want to talk about what happened in that Chiefs game. And then the other time with the Arizona game. Yeah, that Chiefs game was something bad, bro.
Wait,
Atlanta too.
Well, yeah, one was Atlanta, and that was the 10-second runoff game.
Yeah. No,
that wasn't the 2-second runoff.
No, that was the double field goal game.
We was at home.
That was
Oh,
the double
all right.
field goal game.
Ignore me.
Ignore me.
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
I don't even remember 2 games.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I just hated having to do it because I felt like we had to travel so long and the game wasn't that good, to be honest. Seemed like the players were tired. And I could totally understand that. The jet lag just going from, like you said, the east to west coast is crazy. But you go all the way to London, the games don't come out that well. I don't know. I just didn't like it for me, and I'm glad they don't have to go over there because they actually get the home games they deserve and gives them a better chance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you definitely on the thing that you said about them not even really being football fans. They're not at all. It's American football for a reason. Like, it pisses me off to see a London game and you see somebody in a soccer jersey. Like, get the hell out of here. They shouldn't have let that person in.
Exactly.
Hey,
Yeah.
you said they should have left them outside. Like, we don't want your pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Or your euros or whatever, Brexit, whatever
Right,
you guys
we
were
want your
doing over there.
euros.
Pounds, I think, over there. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to the next
question
topic.
that Ben asked is legit.
Oh, what's that?
He says, would you rather have a superstar quarterback with a mediocre bad team, i.e. Stafford Rodgers, or a game manager with a superstar supporting cast, i.e. Goff, Prescott, Tannehill? I'm going with B. Give me the game manager. I think most quarterbacks should be game managers, and I think that this contract that they give these quarterbacks are ridiculous. The quarterback should not be the highest paid player in football, in my opinion, because it's contingent upon everything else for it making them look good. Like, if you were to take most of these quarterbacks, and y'all could thank the fantasy football players for this, if you were to take most of these quarterbacks and just simply give them the yardage on where they actually threw the ball, oh, God. Half these guys wouldn't even be able to make the Hall of Fame because the numbers wouldn't be close. They're not throwing it down the field. Tom Brady, everybody talk about how he dinks and dunks. He do. He manages the hell out of the game. The few times where he
end up with Brady is, even though,
yeah,
I mean,
he manages the game.
Yeah, I think so.
Every team wasn't perfect, but they had enough talent to win if you just play mistake-free football.
Yep.
Right.
And that's why the Patriots win. I mean, they'll be like, okay, we got a very good roster. Maybe not an all elite, roster, but all we got to do is not make mistakes. Brady come in on 4th down, Bill Belichick hold it down, and they keep winning. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's one of the things. Angelo says, whose channel will we be talking about the schedule on Thursday? Mine's. We'll be on my channel for Thursday's schedule talk and other topics pertaining to the Lions. We'll be doing all type of stuff from record predictions, what games we hate, love. We got all type of stuff coming. So yes, my channel will be the one for Thursday. But go ahead, real man, get us back on track, man. I just like that question because I think the supporting cast makes more.
Question.
I mean,
Yeah,
look, Troy Aikman is literally the prime example. And Tom Brady, they're the same players. They managed their butt off, and everything else around them did the work. Mistake free. That's all you got to do.
Hell yeah, that's exactly what any star quarterback that's on a crappy team. That's exactly what everybody's talking about. We need a supporting cast around them. So I mean, yeah, I'm with you guys. We need a supporting cast that's like all superstars, and then plug a game manager in there, or hopefully find a superstar in the draft that you could have for 4 or 5 years and pay him on a rookie deal, like they did with Jared Goff, and just stock up on superstars in free agency. That'd be awesome. But yeah, moving on to the next topic. So Jarad Davis. So Jarad Davis, as everybody knows, he's a 1st-round pick a few years ago. He's been our middle linebacker trying to replace DeAndre Levy, and with mixed results. And, obviously injuries have played into that. Coaching changes have played into that. A lot of stuff's happened, since the beginning of his start of his Lions career. So right now, it has been announced that they will not be picking up his 5th-year option. So we're going to be talking about that right now. Andrew, why don't we kick it off to you first? What do you think about the Lions not picking up Jarad Davis's 5th-year option?
I definitely think it was the smartest thing they could have possibly done for so many reasons. I'm someone that was so hype about Davis coming onto our team, and he's been such a letdown. I mean, the dude's been injured like every single year. He gets caught thinking too much instead of reacting, and he just doesn't fit our scheme that well. So to me, you 5th-year option him, he's going to get, what is it? It's like top 10 money, or like the average of the top 10 or something like that at the position. And to me, I would rather him play out his 4th year And if he balls out, then reevaluate it if you want him. Don't just automatically pick it up for someone that's been injury prone, that doesn't fit into your scheme that well. Like, no, I want him to prove that he's worth a contract. So I'm super happy they didn't, because it's going to make him have to ball out and earn his money. But whether it's for our team or for someone else, he's going to have to play hard. So.
Okay. All right. I don't think that he's lost his place on this team, especially after what Matt Patricia's comments, the comments that he made during his press conference, and how confident he is in Jarad Davis and how much he still likes him and how he believes that he could be a cornerstone on this defense going forward. I just think that the price tag didn't make sense for the 5th-year option. Because that would have been over $10 million. And you don't pay somebody that has Jarad Davis's production $10 million. So I'd be very okay with them extending him on a way cheaper deal. That'd be awesome. And I think that's what they want to do. We lost JMO, but we're going to go to you, Luke. What do you think about the Detroit Lions declining to pick up the 5th-year option of Jarad Davis?
Well, I see a lot of people is like, Jarad Davis isn't injury prone, which is true. He's not. But 2, I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
Hold up. Before you continue, Luke, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Jarad Davis has missed like 7 games in 3 seasons, and he also has hurt his ankle every freaking year, it seems like, and like every other game. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. He's not injury prone.
If it's 16 games a season.
He missed 2 games his rookie season, and he missed 5 games this past season.
Right.
How's that injury prone?
But I'm saying, if
like you played 14 games and 16 games and then 11 games, how's that injury prone?
Because he's gotten hurt in 2 different seasons and missed multiple games. That's what injury prone is.
Missed 2 games.
That's a lot of games in the grand scheme of 16.
Well, you
7 games up.
You got to look at it like this. The best way to figure out if a guy is injury prone, simply put, is this: if there's 16 games total a season, and he's been in the league going on his 4th year, correct?
Yeah,
this will be his 4th.
Okay, so in the 3 seasons that he has had already, you say he missed 7 games?
7 games total out of 48 potential games.
That's not a lot.
So that's not even like 5%.
That's not a
what?
lot at all.
You guys do not know math.
What do you don't know math, bro? Like missing 7 games out of 41.
7 out of 41. Even, okay, listen. Let's say that that's 10%, which I know.
It's more. It's almost 20%.
Okay. All right, so let's say 20%. We go 20%, 25, 50. We can make it 50, right? I don't care what it is. I'm trying to show you something. 7 out of 48 games means that he still played 41. How is that an injury-prone player?
So, I mean, to me, if you're not playing 15, 16 games every single season, you're injury-prone. If you're not on the field week in and week out, that is injury-prone. Wouldn't you be mad?
14 instead of 15, he injury-prone? He played 14 games in 16 games.
If you have 1 week, that's pushing it even for me. I mean, dude, you missed 5 games this past season. And multiple of the games that he played in, he was hurt. So he was not healthy for the majority of his career. He's had so many ankle injuries.
He was playing, though. That's not injury. Just because you're playing injuries.
Half the league is playing hurt. I'm sorry. Yeah. It is what it is. Half the league is playing hurt. The best thing is to be available. And if they're available, then period, they're available. Injury prone, I can name players who are injury prone. Jarad Davis is not an injury-prone player. I'm not that statement. Yeah. That statement seems a little bit of a stretch. You know, your shoulders got to be a little frosted. But 7 out of 48 games.
Yeah, that's less than 15%. And like it was 2 major injuries, and they weren't like tearing his Achilles. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like something that is going to be degenerative or something that's going to limit his play going forward. And I mean, like we just said, it's 2 injuries. I think we really have to see this year. If he plays 15 games this year or 16 games, there's no way we could call him injury prone going into his 5th year. But I see the concern, Andrew, because I mean, 7 games, that's two out of your 3 seasons. You missed a significant amount of games. So,
I mean, how would you guys feel if your starting quarterback missed that many games?
2 games? Missing 2 games is not a lot for any player.
I don't think
2 games in the season.
It's 14.5%. It's
All
the
right.
number. And I don't see that as injury prone either.
Right.
We have a lot of other players on this team that are injury prone, but that's not one of them.
So essentially, 85% of the games he played, as Carl said, that's injury prone.
Yeah,
Shit.
that makes no sense.
Man.
Okay, Jim. So what do you think about them declining his 5th-year option?
I want to say
come back to me on that question because I definitely got to go last because I got to figure out how I'm gonna word this without being an a-hole with it.
Okay.
Just say he sucked,
It's
bro.
funny because
I'll hold it down.
Because I saw his press conference, Matt Patricia's, where, we love Jarad Davis and we do this, but it's just the contract situation and the business part of it. That's so much BS.
Oh my God, Jim,
So
get out of my head.
It's so funny because he said they were saying, how much they loved what's his name too that they let go,
Devin Kennard.
And he doesn't fit on this defense right now. He's playing out of position. I think Luke agrees with me on this, that he's been playing out of position. He hasn't been great, to be quite honest about it. And he's not worth $10 million for sure, but I'm pretty sure they're going to move on from him after this year.
Yep. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I think that the fact that they declined it says that they're going to move on from him. He does not fit their prototypical linebackers that they like, those overly tall people. I mean, they took a guy in the 3rd round with a broke leg because of his height and his measurables. And they like, he would have been the first, but it's like, no, they didn't care about him being the first or not. They cared about the measurables. So that to me tells me he was going to let him go anyway. And to me, it was a bunch of load of malarkey for him to say, I love him. He's prototypical for what we do. Really? Because who on your team is similar to him? I mean, Christian Jones is bigger. Everybody we got on our team is bigger than him, except for like Miles Killebrew. If you put him at linebacker, they even made Jalen Reeves bulk up. So I'm just trying to figure out where he's at. Like I said, he's out of position in my opinion, and they should have him there.
Okay, that was the belt to get Luke out of here. But
yeah, I'll give my opinion.
Yeah.
I do think Matt Patricia was telling the truth about how much they love Jarad Davis. Just because you can't afford to pay a player doesn't mean you don't love them. They love him, but they just can't give him $10 million. I'm sure it's been a bunch of role players on teams that you loved, but it was time for him to get paid, and you're like, yeah, we can't pay you that because you're not good enough for that. And I do think if they could lowball Jarad Davis, they would, but he's not going to be the type of player that gets lowballed because the market for Jarad Davis is huge. There's a lot of defenses that he can fit in. Like I know his comparison, Devin White plays in Pittsburgh, but he would fit in that defense. Just even a defense like Atlanta's that have a lot of fast, speedy linebackers. And Jarad Davis actually did bulk up. Like he gained like 20 pounds, but it just doesn't matter how much weight he gains. He just doesn't.
I think he's well liked over the real. I think he's well liked throughout the league.
I like Jarad Davis. I think Jarad Davis was very solid his rookie year and was our best linebacker. That's not saying much because our linebacker was very bad in 2017 to hear Bumhead. But then in 2018, he had a very good season, 100 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 10 quarterback hits, 6 sacks, an interception. So he was playing well. It's this season that it just really took a downturn spiral and it got extremely bad. And I don't really like the excuse that, he doesn't fit our system. He doesn't fit our system. But the year before, he had his breakout year with you, Matt Patricia. So obviously you're not doing something right. We all know he started playing better once Snacks came back. But my point is, if you can get 100 tackles, 6 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, and 10 quarterback hits out of Jarad Davis for 16 games, why can't you repeat that? I do think him limping into the season injured played an effect, but after a while, I felt like he was healthy and he just wasn't. He looked like a fish out of water. And maybe because we didn't have a guy like Glover Quinn back there to direct the defense, because Glover Quinn was back there, mastermind with his laptop and his pocketbook, like, yeah, you go here, you do this, Slade, you do this, Jarad Davis, you do this. Now we just got Tracy Walker back there, and Tracy Walker, I won't say he's all talent, but he's not Glover Quinn when it comes to the mental aspect of the game. It comes to talent, yeah. But when it comes to the mental aspect, being the leader and that back seven to direct people, Jarad Davis is out there just running free, whiffing on tackles, and it's just like I've seen you make all of these plays before. So what happened this year till last. He only played 11 games, so he was hurt a lot this year. He missed a lot of games, and I just think the talent wasn't around him. I do think if you were to surround him with a better team to fit his skill set, he would do better, but obviously that's not what's going to happen with the type of team that we have. And I do feel like once he moves on, because I do think they might move on for him unless he has a breakout season. Like if he has 8 sacks and a couple picks, they might hold on to him. But I think he's going to go to another team and ball out. And I just can't wait for all the Lions fans that's trashing him right now, talking about how trash he is, how he's garbage, how he's the worst linebacker in the NFL. And when he goes to another team and balls out, y'all going to be looking stupid and y'all going to hate on him like y'all do the rest of our players that ball out for other teams when they weren't being used right, Kyle Van Noy. So I just,
yeah, but see, I never said I didn't like him. I don't think the Lions like him.
I think they do like him. They just don't want to pay him.
Yeah, I'm with you, J-Mo.
I think they like him a lot. Like, I don't think Matt Patricia was lying at all. No, they love Jarad Davis, but he ain't about to get no 10 mil. I'm telling you, Jarad Davis was like, I take 4 mil, 5 mil. He will be on this team, but he shouldn't even do that because it's another team that will pay a young linebacker like Jarad Davis that could really use his abilities to the best. You know what I mean? Really use him to the best of his abilities. I think they do like Jarad Davis. Just like I said, he's liked around the league. He just doesn't fit the system. And if you want him to fit the system, you got to kind of turn him into a premier pass rusher. And that's what he shouldn't just be a pass rusher like Devon Kennard, a jack linebacker. That's not what he is. He's a weak side linebacker that's just lost some direction. I do think he'll play better this year, but my point is if he can have a breakout season with Matt Patricia, 100 tackles, 6 sacks, all them tackles for loss, he can do it again. So it has to be a problem with him or the coaching or both. And regardless of what it is, the Lions have decided to move on. So, I just made me wish we would have drafted linebacker first overall because we don't have to do it next year. But, okay, instead of the generational linebacker, we'll just get another regular linebacker. It's okay. I'm okay. But
look, I think the issue with his play had a lot to do with Snacks Harrison not playing up to par in 2019. Because when we saw Snacks, he was asked to do way too much in the beginning of 2018, right? Then we plugged in Snacks, we traded for Snacks, and you could see visibly there was an improvement in our linebacking core, and just our defense all around was much, much more dominant. And then coming into 2019, we heard all this hype about Jarad Davis, about this is definitely going to be his breakout year. He bulked up. He did all these things. He's a huge leader in this defense right now. And there was all this hype going into it. And then he injures his ankle. And, we saw what happened from there. Obviously, Snacks wasn't the same. Mike Daniels didn't even play. And just in general, the people in front of him were playing like garbage. And then his play regressed. I'm sorry?
I said the people beside him, the other linebackers. Besides Tavai, like none of the linebackers played well. Tavai was our best linebacker. He was a rookie.
Right. So I think that with the better supporting cast, like you're saying, he could perform a lot better. And I really hope that you're not right, J-Mo, about him getting a big market in free agency so that he could leave. I really hope that the Lions utilize him being undervalued because of the injury and because of the circumstances that he had to play under in 2019 to kind of get him on a cheap deal, kind of lock him down. Because we all agree. Look, as much as Lions fans want to say Jarad Davis sucks, and I see it every single video, there's all these people in the chat saying he sucks. I think everybody can agree that he's an athletic freak. He's super fast and he get hit really hard. If he locks onto that target, he get hit really hard. He has the athleticism to be great, I believe, in this league. So I really hope that he doesn't go to another program and excel there. That would be terrible.
Don't think mentally.
That's exactly what's going to happen because another team is going to have a system to fit him. Our system doesn't fit him. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think that our team don't fit his system per se. I think that this is the thing. It was a lot in that interview that was said with Bob Quinn, starting from why they didn't take Isaiah Simmons because, apparently they got a guy like him already, and Jamie Collins. But it boils down to what the person's vision is for a player and how they use them. And if they're not going to use him, it's not going to work. So if he goes somewhere else, he's going to ball out. And that's what happened with Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy left us because we had him in a 4-3 when he's a 3-4 outside linebacker. Well, we put him in a 3-4 outside linebacker and he performed. So with Jarad Davis, I don't think it's necessarily who we put him to. It's more so the vision that the person who's going to use him, because that's what it all boils down to. You fall in favor with the right people. And that thing, you look up and you got the right opportunity to be good. I don't think Jarad Davis is as bad as people think. But I can't prove to people wrong, because guess what? Those same people that I'm telling them he's not that bad, they'll point to where he did this and he did that. And I'm like, yeah. The guy that they wanted to replace him with was Devin White. They had the same stats. And Devin White played more games than him. So, and as a rookie, get it, but he was utilized totally different. And if we have to be able to understand that it's how we utilize a player that makes a difference. So to me, if he goes somewhere else to perform, it's much of what I thought it would be. That's why he's respected in this league.
But
yeah,
see, my thing is, I'm not saying like he was all pro, but his second year, he was very solid. And then he just he just went down the rabbit hole and crashed and burned. And I'm like, there is no way he can't be that player he was in year 2 or even better. It's just a problem going on, whether it was his injuries or whatever or Paul P calling the worst defense in the world, if that's who we want to blame. Another team will be able to use those talents. Trust me, because he's been successful at it before.
He is well respected around the league. I will say that. I know that he would do better in a different system, I think, anyway. But for some reason, I just don't think he puts it together mentally. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, you got to keep in mind, like, okay, I hate telling y'all these personal stories because y'all be thinking I'm crazy, but I remember the very first car I learned how to drive was an automatic, right? And you simply put the damn gear in place and hold the brake and then hit the gas. Real simple. But the very first time somebody tried to teach me how to do a damn stick, I can't tell you how many times that damn thing jerked, the clutch slipped, and everything else, because I wasn't used to it. And I think what you're seeing is a guy who learned how to play the game on automatic, and now they switching them over to try to learn to do a clutch. Or like my friend, he's a truck driver. He knows how to drive a stick, but he said driving a truck is totally different. I was like, oh, really? So these little things that you don't realize makes a difference in the production. It does. What they're asking him to do and where they want him to be. Sometimes, you can figure it out. If you know the defense, you say, oh, they run the cover 2 or cover 3. You could tell where a player is supposed to be a lot of the times. But I think with Jarad Davis, they did a very good job under Caldwell, making sure that he was going to be the benefactor of pressure. They were trying to send 4 on the D line to get after you and force you to hurry up by having that linebacker roam. And this 3-4 is a little bit different because they really run more like a dime package realistically, or an advance more like a nickel set. So that's why you're seeing all these differences in him not performing, because it's changing. So that's where it's at. And it could be mental, but overall, I think it's just the vision that the head coach currently has for him is not stacking up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. Like, because I do think they could use him in his defense to be successful. It's just he's not playing well, and it's to me it's on both ends. But because, like, man, how high I thought he was gonna have a breakout year after year 2 because he was so solid in year 2. And then, like Jim said, it just seemed like he just had a bunch of mental issues and just, I mean, like, if I run towards a person, I can tackle him. You're a professional athlete. How you running towards a person straight line and you can't tackle them? But the year before, you could do it with ease. So it's something going on there. I just hope they give him a chance and figure it out. This is definitely a proven year.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think we've talked enough about Jarad Davis. But so we're going to move on to something that one of our players posted on social media this past week, and it is none other than Ty Johnson. So he obviously saw what happened in the draft, and he was like, oh, okay, 2 running backs taken. I got to put some work in right now. So we saw videos of him pulling a Jeep. He was leading it, and he was pulling it. He was doing a bunch of different things, a bunch of different workouts involving a Jeep in a parking lot. And it looks like he's putting that work in. So the question here today is, there's two different outcomes that could come of this, or maybe two different intentions you could think about when seeing his videos. And one of them is that iron sharpens iron. So getting these two guys in the draft, is this going to improve our running backs group in general? Because, just that competition is going to force them to improve themselves. Or do you see this as Ty Johnson saying, well, I'm out the door. I need to improve my stock and get some other teams to look at me before I get cut. We're going to go over to you, Luke, first. So what do you think, and what do you take away from Ty Johnson's crazy workout videos?
Pressure do one or two things. Bust pipes will create diamonds. And I think what you're starting to see is there's always healthy to have somebody who can take your spot. When you have any opportunity to get comfortable in your spot, your work tends to lack. I mean, let's just be honest. And it goes across the board. It's not just football. It's in work. It's in relationships. Once you get comfortable, you will slack some form of fashion. So to me, I don't think it's something that he's like, let me show something to them to let them know what I can do. No, what he's showing is I'm up to the challenge of this. You want to bring these running backs in. Well, if they want this spot, they're going to have to earn it. Now, a lot of times what that be is his personal trainers or his advisors and his agent who's like, we got to put something out there so the people can get behind you because the people is going to keep you here. Yes, but I think overall, no, he simply understood what they were saying. Like, hey, because anybody who says that they didn't give him a fair shot is lying. They've gave him shots. But I'm telling you, his vision at times is like, bro, you didn't see that? Like, one cut and you're gone. There's nobody who can catch you. And his vision wasn't always there. So to me, I think it was more so him sending the message that I'm up to the challenge to prove that I deserve to be here. And the NFL is really should be called the recycling league because nobody recycles more than them. I mean, look, Josh McCown has been on almost every team in the league. That's right. I'm just saying. So they let you know that even if you get cut, if you're not an airhead, you're not a head case, your opportunity is going to be there. But I think he just letting the people know I'm up to the challenge. So yeah, they brought him in. Yep. They drafted him in the 5th. I was taking him the 6th or the 5th? Was he taking the 5th? I can't remember. But he let them know.
Ty Johnson?
Yeah. Is it 5th or 6th?
6th round.
Yeah. He letting them know. He letting the other guy know, get your popcorn ready, young man. If you think you're going to outwork me, then good luck. Now, why he's pulling the truck is beyond me. He needs to figure out how to work on this damn vision. Whatever it is.
Exactly what I was going to say.
I mean,
man, I don't go first, so I never get the chance to say anything.
Saying, like,
sorry,
what
Jim.
the hell? He's working on pulling the truck, but forget the truck pull. I know you got the last. Can you see it coming?
It's behind him already, so I don't know,
Like, tell me that, and I love this quote. I was reading this quote from Barry Sanders, and they said, Barry, why was you so good? He said, I ran scared every time. He said, I can sense when somebody breathed by me. That's that vision, and he lacks that. He needs to work on that.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Jim, we're going to kick it off to you next, man. I'm sorry I keep going last. You're the last one. You're the last block in this screen, so I just keep going down the list.
I understand that because when I host, I do the same thing so I don't miss anybody.
yeah, exactly. Because
So
if I go random,
totally get it.
Right.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, why is he pulling a truck? Because he's got to work out his vision. He's fast. His legs are strong enough. I don't understand that point of it. One thing you're going to have to beat out that guy we just Hunter. What's his the guy we just drafted? I don't remember his name. So he's going to have to beat out him, right? He's similar in speed, but that guy, he's got to improve his vision. It's the one thing that I had a knock on him. Also, I didn't think he had a whole lot of moves either. It just, it's weird because we've seen him in Maryland and he was taking back kickoff returns for touchdown and all this stuff. And I was pretty excited about Ty Johnson at first. Then when he ran the ball, I think his percentage was more than any other running back we had last year in carries. But it was just crazy that he just never really lived up to the hype.
Well, again, that's because you didn't have a lot of the numbers to go behind it. And Angelo says you can never be too strong. Yes, you can. Like I just watched the dude. They call him the Mountain. Is that his name, the Mountain? And he like deadlift like 1,100 pounds.
Oh, I saw that.
Right, I guarantee you, if you ask him to run the 40, it's gonna look like the most unorthodox, uncomfortable thing you ever seen. He ain't. I'm telling you, he's not gonna be able to move. It's too much muscle, too much weight.
Yeah, but he's 6'9" too. I mean, people
just saying,
6'9", they don't run a good 40 in the first place.
I mean, look at Montez Sweat. He ran pretty fast at 6 something. I'm just saying,
but not 6'9".
Just
Guy's
saying,
almost 7 foot tall.
Big dude, man.
I mean,
he's got so much muscle.
Fun fact: the Mountain actually was on the practice squad of the Indianapolis Colts at one time.
Really?
So that's pretty cool.
Yes,
yeah.
I knew that. I knew that.
I did not know that. That's awesome. I wish
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm higher than most fans on Ty Johnson. I like him, man. I like him. When he runs to the outside, he has that speed to break the edge and just hit a home run on any given play. And even though between the tackles he wasn't too great, I don't think that's where he's good at, and that's just not his job. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
But I love that he's posting these videos and kind of showing. He's like, "Hey, listen, New Mexico State. Listen, you're gonna have to get through me to make this roster," and I love that. But I'm of the opinion of that guy better. That New Mexico State guy, I already forgot his name. He better make this team because we picked him over Bradley and I will be furious if he doesn't make the team. So, unfortunately,
you just can't shake it. He better make this team.
I blocked his name out of my memory just because I'm still so mad about it. Oh, here we go. Jason Huntley. That's his name.
Jason Huntley, yes. And it's not that we don't know him. It's just we're so pissed
I know
at
his
name.
J-Mo, why don't you go ahead, man? What do you think about Ty Johnson's video?
I was gonna say, I love it, but see, this is the point. This is the reason why I was so upset with the running back pick, because I was like, how do you know he's gonna make the roster? And all I kept hearing from Lions fans is, oh, he gonna beat out Johnson and Agnew. I'm like, oh, he just gonna beat them out just cause. He only gonna beat them out in your head is because you don't like Agnew and you don't like Ty Johnson. They're not players that you like, so you don't root for them to win. But I'm like, what if this guy coming in? I literally said verbatim, what if him coming in makes Ty Johnson and Agnew even better and he doesn't make the team? Now, he probably will make it, maybe. But like I said, it's not guaranteed that he's just going to walk in and beat out Jason Huntley is just going to walk in and beat out Ty Johnson and Jamal Agnew. It's going to be some real competition, and we'll see what happens. With Ty Johnson is game, and I'm with you. I like Ty Johnson, and I know penalties is a thing, but every great run I saw from Ty Johnson got called back because of Taylor Decker. So
bad. That's bad.
We never really got to see, like, every time. I'm telling you, every single time. But one time that he got the first down and they didn't call a flag. The other, like, 3 times, because it wasn't a lot, but the other 3 times that he got a first down with that little outside zone run, they threw a flag for whatever reason. I don't care. So we couldn't even get to use his big play ability. He did get opportunity, and I'm not going to just like blame it on the O-line. He got some opportunity, but we wasn't using him to the best of his ability. I don't like the fact that we got all of these outside zone running backs. We don't have a big bruiser, and Bo Scarborough isn't the answer. I'm sorry, Lions fans, but we don't have a big bruiser to run through guys. But I love it, man. Pull all the trucks you want. Just don't get hurt and come in ready to compete because you on the clock. And we gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens. I really like Ty, but I just want the best player to make the team at the end of the day. I don't got no dog in the fight, so we'll see what happens. But I don't think it's gonna be easy for Huntley to just walk in there and take people's spots.
I don't think Agnew's. I mean, Agnew put the ball on the ground too much for me. I nicknamed him Punt Muffin because he's been muffin punts.
I swear, I keep saying every year they tell me Agnew not making the team, and he always on the team. So we'll see.
We'll see, but he put the ball on the ground a little bit last year, and I didn't like that at all. And I think that they may be moving on. Look at how many corners we have in the first place. I don't know. I think that's a possibility this year.
Yep, I agree. I hope so. I think Agnew loses his spot. I know last year, people were saying, "Oh, he's getting cut," and I'm like, "It's not happening." But this year, I believe it's going to happen because they brought in a lot of kick returners. Ellison, Huntley. What's that other dude? I keep forgetting. Trey Ray or some Ray or whatever. The cornerback, but they brought in a lot of returners because they were not pleased, and you knew they wasn't pleased because who was returning kicks at one point and doing punts? Amendola. So they definitely are looking for somebody to upgrade that position. And the one thing, if you just go through and look at the quote unquote Patriot way, special teams, you have no excuse. You miss a tackle, you're cut. You don't get the right block, you're cut. You fumble my ball, and all I'm asking you is to come on the field for a few downs, you're cut. And that's what they've been doing. So I don't doubt it one bit, and it makes sense to me.
Right. Yeah, no. It is going to be a good battle to keep watch of for sure. And Andrew, I'm going to get to you in just 1 second. I just got to address this one. Truth tell is just coming at me, and the blood's boiling. I already know. like that pick, it's still on my mind. So he says, how do you know Ane would have made the roster? Because he was a day 2 prospect. I'm just going to say that, and then we'll move on. But it's kind of like saying, you saw.
Real. He said the same thing to me. He was talking to me, like he was trying to make the point that Huntley has a higher chance of making this roster than Bradley and Ane. And I'm like, all right, guy, okay.
It's kind of like saying Amani Owarie, who is supposed to be a round 2 player. We skip on him for somebody else and saying, oh, how do you know Amani would have made the team? Because he's a day 2 prospect. That's how you know. You know what I mean? Like, You're getting a day 2 prospect that late in the draft. That's a steal. You got to do it.
All right. Now, I know this is going to come as a shock because me and Truth don't always agree, but I agree with him. I don't think Ane would have made the team.
You're wrong.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'm serious. I'll tell you why. To me, look at what happened. They coached that team, right? They coached that team, and they was praising how much he did a good job. He's great. Blah 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 blah. And they've had multiple turns to take that guy, and they still was picking player after player over him. Now that's not a knock on the player. But where I start to question it is once you get into those later rounds, the Lions have notoriously took those players and put them on freaking practice squad. And then played musical cheers with, oh, I think somebody might want to sign them. I guess we'll bring them on, put them back on practice squad. You've seen it with so many different people where they draft them late and then they turn around and as quick as they drafted them, they put them on practice squad. Like,
yeah, but none of those guys besides Owarie are as good as Bradley and Ane. So I'm not really.
Or Deshaun Hand or something.
Well, that's 4th round, and we traded up. But I don't think so. But I understand what you're saying. But my point is, the Cowboys got just as many pass rushers as us, and they have no problem taking. So,
yeah, but you know why though? You know why? Because when you have that many pass rushers, you don't feel a need or feel pressure to take them. You can take those chances because it's a later round pick. Now, according to NFL.com, he's projected to be a 3rd to 4th round pick. But again, you got to look at the team and what they've been doing. They've been cutting everybody, man. Now, if they keep all 9 of these draft picks this year, I'll be shocked. That's one of the reasons why I don't think those D tackles we got gonna make the squad.
Yeah.
I mean, they cut Isaac Nada a few times and brought him back. They cut PJ Johnson, never brought him back. And then Travis Fulgham, they cut him and brought him back. So I'm just saying, that's what they do. We had a quarterback who I thought would have been good to groom into a good quarterback, and Brad Kaya. We put him on practice squad. He got swooped up quick.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, well, Andrew, you still haven't gotten to speak yet. What do you feel about Ty Johnson's videos, and what do you think it means?
I mean, to me, when you look at our roster, it's Ty Johnson that's the odd man out in the running back group. So it's nice to see that he, kind of recognizes that and is like, you know what, I got to put myself out there to show him, like, I'm about to put this work in, and I'm going to improve, and I'm willing to improve, whether, it's in strength, agility, vision. Like, it's just showing the fans and showing, the organization that he's going to work harder and try to outwork others. So do I think he's going to be able to outwork Huntley or, somehow surpass him in the depth chart? Not really, unless they cut Agnew. That's the only situation that I see Ty Johnson staying on the roster. But I think it's just, he's trying to fight for his spot and stay on an NFL team.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Yeah, I think we can all agree with that one. So, it's time. Okay. So listen, guys, we've been on for like an hour, 20 minutes. It's time for you guys to send in your questions. If you guys sent any before, we probably must have missed them or something like that, but hit us up with the questions now. Throw them in the chat. We're going to go after one more topic that we have today, but then we're going to jump in your questions. So throw them in right now. All right. So the last topic we have for the day is just in general free agency. So there's, this is typically called the second wave of free agency. And we have a lot of money still left in the tank. We have around $30 million and we have a lot of room to make moves, and there's a lot of guys left. So if there was a guy that you want to add via free agency that's still on the board right now, who is it? We're going to start off with you, Jim.
Marcus Golden.
Ooh, okay.
Yep, linebacker, pass rusher. That's who I would like to get. Another one would be a backup defensive tackle, Marcel Darius. I think that if he came in at the right price, he could fill a role like Mike Daniels was supposed to fill last year.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Why don't we switch over to you, JMO? Who do you think we should grab in free agency, if anyone?
Well, yeah, of course. We'll probably be saying the same things. I mean, I just did a whole video, shameless plug, on Jarad Davis and how bad I think our linebackers are. I think our linebackers are in trouble. I think they're the worst unit on the team right now, at least defensively. And adding Marcus Golden, even though he's exclusively a pass rusher, I don't care at this point. I just need linebackers that know how to make plays because we lack a lot of playmakers in the linebacking room. And I think he would greatly, greatly help us. I'm all for getting him. Do whatever you got to, because to me, there's no excuse why he shouldn't be on this team. You got the money, go get him. Stop being stupid. Like add more talent to the football team. But we've seen the Lions do some questionable things, and he'll probably be on a division rival or something, and we'll be like, why didn't we get him?
Okay, that's fair. Andrew, you got somebody that you have your eyes on? Somebody in free agency that you'd like the Lions to add?
Yeah, I mean, like JMO and Jim, I wouldn't mind Marcus Golden, but for me, I'm going a defensive tackle. And the only one that really sparks my eye is Marcel Darius. The dude is just a beast. I personally really like him a lot, and I think he could easily be in a starting role for our defense.
Oh, yeah. All right, got you. So I'm going to throw this question to you, Andrew. How would you feel if the Lions brought back Mike Daniels on a cheap deal?
Unless it's a $1 million deal, I'm not bringing him back.
$1 million? Wow.
So pissed, bro. Like we spent, I think it was like $8 million or something for the year, and he literally didn't do anything. So unless he's coming back, Jameis Winston is playing for $1 million this year. Mike Daniels comes back, you're only getting the veteran minimum. That's it. I don't care.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I think I'd be a little more risky than you. I think I'd offer him a little bit more than that. But yeah, I'm with you. More than like $3 million, nah. You're done. You had your chance here. You should have performed. You didn't. But the guy that I'm gonna go with is Everson Griffin. Man, I'm sick of. This guy's been terrorizing our backfield and terrorizing Stafford for far too long. It's time to flip the script and get him onto our team, man. If we have this kind of guy on our team, I know he's old. I don't care. He's a beast. And I want him so bad. And even if he's just a rotational guy, that's worth it to me. I'd love to have him in here and just to add him to bolster our defensive line. That'd be great. Luke, are you back?
I mean, I do think he's old, but if Everson Griffin is like not your starting DN and he's in your rotation, you got something good going. Like if he's in the rotation and he's not the starter, I'm fine with that, but I just want to stay away from older players that could get injured. But no, he will definitely be good in the rotation.
I have a hard time with that though, because we only have room for like one starting defensive end, and that's Trey Flowers. So like to bring in Bradley Anae or to bring in Everson Griffin or someone else, like it's hard for me because I feel like as our scheme, it's just not going to permit these guys to be on the field as much as we would like. So we're going to bring someone in like Everson Griffin, and then he's only going to play like 50% or less snaps, and that would piss me off because I think Everson Griffin is a beast. So I would,
But
if
it
we
keeps
were to
everybody
bring
fresh.
No, I know.
Well,
if we were to
okay,
bring
look,
someone like that in, I want them to freaking change the scheme to our roster because I would want
Well,
Flowers and
we
Griffin.
do that. This is the problem. The Lions didn't have any defensive ends. So when we were doing our like 3-4 defense, because the year before last, it seemed like we played a different defense every week. Like, because
Right.
sometimes we were 3-4, sometimes we were 4-3, but we had the
Exactly.
personnel to do that. Last year, Trey Flowers was the only defensive end, and we had Okwara, but Okwara was on a milk carton. So we just had to use that 3-4 and add a linebacker to try to clean up all of the other deficiencies. But if you have Everson Griffin, now you can run a 4-3. Like I said, like
Exactly.
I've seen Matt Patricia's only been a coach for 2 years, but I've seen him literally change the defense every single week in week 3-4, week 4-3, week 5-2. I've seen him do it with my eyes. So I know he changes the defense weekly. And if you have, because to me, you can't have enough defensive ends. Like if you got all of these pass rushers and they're producing, our defense is going to change in some games and in some situations because I can't see, unless Everson Griffin wasn't playing well, I can't see him not getting playing time if he's playing like a beast. He's gonna get playing time. So
Absolutely.
it's same thing with a Bradley and Nay or anything like that. The thing about Matt Patricia's defense that I do like, it changes. It's fluid. It's not something set in stone. We might be a base 3-4, but I know in 2018, we ran almost as much 4-3 as 3-4. So it just depends on what we're doing.
JMO, I love that you said that. Like I literally had to hold myself back from keeping like myself just not jumping in and talking over you for real, because we act like we're a straight up 3-4 defense, and we're not. We do switch it up, but we it's just that last year we ran primarily 3-4, and it was almost all 3-4 last year, and that's because of the personnel we ran. But yeah, like I would love to see us move back to more of that 4-3 defense. That's just I would love that. But yeah, I'm glad you said that. But we're gonna move on. Okay, I lied. There's one more topic that we need to discuss. Then we're going to jump into your guys' questions. So, Kenny Golladay, he was named a top 10 wide receiver. And this was, I think, on Bleacher Report, or correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Bleacher Report. He was rated a top 10 quarterback. He's getting finally that national recognition. And, of course, we know that he tied the league for touchdown catches last year. And he was honestly just a beast. He's been a beast since we drafted him. We all love Kenny Golladay. But the question here is, how do you think that affects us negotiating a contract with him? Because obviously he's coming up on his final year of his deal, and he's going to need a new deal soon. So a lot of people speculate that's going to happen this year. And we have a lot of money. We have $30 million. We just talked about getting free agents. How much are you guys willing to pay Kenny Golladay, and how much do you think he's going to demand? We'll start off with you, Jim.
Yeah, I think it's going to affect it a little bit, because if they're saying he's a top 10 wide receiver, which I think I do, we're going to have to pay him more money. It's just the way it is. And I don't think he's going to give us a hometown discount. I doubt that. So I think he's going to demand more money. That's exactly what I believe. And I think we should pay the man. I really do. That's my thoughts.
All right. See, like what you're saying, man, I don't think he's going to give us a hometown discount either. And we've seen what happens with teams that pay these top 10 receivers ridiculous amounts of money. We saw what happened when we did it with Calvin. We saw what happens when the Giants did it with Odell, and even the Browns right now. There's rumors that they're trying to deal Odell because his contract's too big. They can't fill all their spots. But when a wide receiver is that good and that dangerous, sometimes they need, they're worth that money. That value's there. Jim, what do you think? What do you think about Kenny Golladay being named a top 10 wide receiver, and what do you think that means for his contract extension?
I do want to say I think Odell and Calvin situations were a little bit different. Now the Giants look kind of dumb for trading Odell, but that's another conversation. I think I don't see him not taking a hometown discount doesn't mean he's going to try and tax us out the wazoo. Just because he's not taking a discount. Like, so the range for Kenny Golladay will be anywhere from 16 to 20 million. So maybe a discount is taking 15 or 16 million, but he's like, I want 18 or 17, and we just give him 18 or 17. To me, 17, 16 is good enough. He's definitely a top 10 wide receiver. I remember I was saying this, prior, man. I remember how much I was hyping him up after his rookie year. And I love y'all Lions fans. We do this for y'all, but y'all gotta stop being so pessimistic. Cause like I'm like, no, Kenny G about to ball out, and all I heard was he missed 5 games, he's injury prone. I hate him. Like, like that's all I kept hearing. He's injury prone. He injury prone. I'm like, bro, let him look. He was hurt some games, yes, but the dude has too much talent. It's just undeniable. You got to give him a chance. But I'm looking at the patterns with Bob Quinn because I'm trying to figure out will Bob Quinn actually pay him. Now the Patriots way wouldn't be to pay him, but with Bob Quinn, he's paid who's ever due on our team that's a star player has gotten paid. Whether even I won't even say Diggs was a star player, but he was good. But when he was due to get paid, he got paid. When Marvin Jones was due to get paid, he got paid. It was Slay was due to get paid his first deal before he tried to restructure it and get more. He got paid. So I know we'll pay Kenny G. Just don't be stupid and do some DeAndre Hopkins type stuff. But I just think he'll ask for like 16 or 17, and I would pay him 17. I'm not gonna pay him 20. If he wants 20, we're gonna be in trouble. But I think he's not gonna give us a discount, but that doesn't mean he's gonna try to tax us and be like, give me 20 million. I think he wants to win football games as well, and I think he's gonna give us at least 17 around that area. And he's definitely worth it though.
All right. I mean, that's a lot of money, but I think I agree. He might be worth it. We'll see. I mean,
like he's like 26, right?
Yeah, he is, but it's just the position. Is allocating that much money to that position worth it for your
we
team
have the
overall?
money though.
Yeah, but we've done really well.
We have
with
holes.
Cap. We've won really well.
Saying, like we have the money.
Yeah, but how would we continue to keep doing well with the cap if we start paying guys like that? I'm not saying not to.
We paid Mike Daniels $9 million.
Let's try not to talk over each other, but one of you guys go.
You gotta look at Stafford's contract. I think it was this year. I think is the year where he gets paid the most, like $32 million or whatever. I can't remember, but one of the last years, Stafford's getting paid the most in his contract for that year. But next year, he's not going to be getting paid that much, so you'll have that money. Just like Jim said, you throwing money out to Mike Daniels. So like that's why we have sitting here with $30 million in cap, and I'm just looking at everybody that's getting paid. Like Trey Flowers is getting paid a heck of a lot this year. Jesse James is getting paid a heck of a lot. But as you look at how the contracts are set up and everything, next year we'll have even more money. You
Here's the problem.
You had to pay Glasgow, you let him go. Pay Vitae. Only person you really got to pay is Kenny Golladay, and you're good. And like Trufant is going to be off the book soon, so like we'll have the money. Yeah, Ragnar's going to get paid.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of the contracts we signed previously are backloaded. So Justin Coleman and Trey Flowers. He's making what, like 16 million this year. He's making over 20 next year, and it's going to be like 25 the year after that. And then Justin Coleman is a very similar deal as well. I'm sure Trufant, if we extend him, we'll see what happens with that. We're going to need a cornerback soon. But Taylor Decker, we're going to need to extend. Frank Ragnow, we're going to need to extend. Or unless you want to get rid of Taylor Decker, and then you're going to need a tackle, which is expensive.
If you draft him, it's not.
And Stafford, what do we do if he does really well? What if this injury doesn't bother him this entire year? He plays 16 games and he balls out. What do we do then? We just let him ride out his deal?
I mean, that's very likely, but you have to. Thing is with me is where is your money tied up? The biggest positions on this team is Trey Flowers, Stafford, and who has the next biggest contract on the team after that? I'm asking.
It will be Kenny Golladay.
Will be.
Yeah, so like we're in a state where we don't have we've got a lot of good players and they're not due yet. Like Ragnow and Tracy Walker about to come up and like Kerryon Johnson, he probably won't be on the team in the future unless he balls out, so we won't have to pay him because we got Swift. But line it up, we can afford it. Bob Quinn has done so well with the cap that we can actually afford to spend money to make the team better. And I mean, paying Stafford, paying Golladay, I mean, like it's like we have our team. We got our core. Whether we suck or we're trash, we're gonna pay all of our players. You know, it happens with a lot of teams where it comes around where everybody's due to get paid. Like the Cowboys, they're paying all their guys. They're gonna be stuck with that team for however long. And I think we're in that same mode. And we right now we can afford everybody, and the cap is gonna go up next year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, we're saying that Bob Quinn's doing such a good job, but he's doing such a good job because he's not extending guys and giving him huge giant contracts like that. He could have easily gave the money that the New York Giants gave to Golden Tate, and he didn't. He could have easily extended Carry-On and not gotten Swift, and he didn't. He's probably going to get rid of Carry-On. I'm just listen. I'm not against you guys. I'm not against re-signing him or extending him, but I don't know if they're going to, because like you said, that's not the Patriot way. It's not the Patriot way to get these skill positions and pay them a crap load of money. But Andrew,
I think they will.
Yeah, they've paid all of our elite players that have been due. They've paid them.
Hey, I wouldn't be against it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Andrew, we're gonna kick it over to you.
Can I say something on this?
Oh yeah,
I was trying to say something, I couldn't. So I just wanted to say though that this has been the best managed cap that I've seen in probably since the cap existed for the Lions. We were always not having any money, always having to cut players because we didn't have any money, and right now we're sitting with 30 million. I mean, I hate to say this, but in this regime has been really good at one thing, and that's been the cap. That's just my opinion. Also, as JMO said, the cap's going to be going up, so we've structured these deals to where each year they go up a little bit, but the cap also goes up a little bit, so we still have that same money. So I think it's been managed really well.
It's not a little bit though. Trey Flowers in his first year here, we only paid him $6 million. Next year we're paying him $25 million. So it's not a little bit.
The cap went up the cap went up a lot too.
Right, but every time if the cap goes up next year and we're extending somebody next year or pulling somebody from free agency next year, their salary is going to go up as well. You know what I mean? The cap going up is nothing but inflation. But I see what you're saying, though. Like, again, I'm not against re-signing Golladay.
The contracts are going up as the cap is going up. I think we're really doing really well with that. That's all I wanted to say about it.
Okay. All right. That's fair. We're going to switch over to you, Andrew, because you haven't gotten a chance to speak yet. Do you think that Kenny Golladay is injury prone?
I love you. Hey, he missed like 8 games.
Hey, he threw a curveball in there quick. Like he's like, all right, Andrew. I'm waiting.
You've been doing this my whole life, man.
Okay.
Yo, so I personally have to respectfully disagree with JMO and Jem. And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, the top 6 players at the wide receiver position, as far as contracts per salary per year, are Julio Jones, Cooper, Michael Thomas, AJ Green, Tyreek Hill, and Odell. If you can honestly tell me that Kenny Golladay is up to par with those guys, then I will debate the shit out of you, because that is false. And I'm not about to pay no wide receiver $17+ million when he is not at that elite level yet. If we had a Julio Jones type wide receiver, maybe, and that's a maybe, because I'm not going to screw myself and my cap space for my team by investing that much money in a skill position player, when having more cap space allows you to work with any position instead of, we have 30 million. I'm just going to go invest all my money in Kenny Golladay. That is not the way you build a team. And I love Kenny Golladay. I'm a huge fan of him, but he is not no Julio Jones. He's not a Tyreek Hill.
But he's not Julio Jones. That's the point. He's a top 10 receiver, not a top 5. So how much money are Odell and Julio Jones and Tyreek Hill making?
Odell is making $18 million. If Kenny Golladay gets a contract, they're probably going to have to pay him around that. And then you look at people.
We were saying 17, and Golladay was better than Odell was last year, led the league in touchdowns too. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Odell was a top 3 receiver when he got the contract, and now look where he's at. You know what I'm saying? And
that's Odell's fault. Golladay ain't out here breaking his leg and Odell gets injured. Now he gets injured. He gets injured a lot.
Look, I'm just looking at other players: Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Tyler Lockett, Golden Tate. There's a lot of players that are making under $14 million a year that can produce just as much as Golladay, can produce potentially even more. And I'm not about to invest top dollar in a wide receiver that isn't even at the elite status yet.
So what wide receiver you think can produce just as much as him?
What do you mean?
You said it's guys that can produce more than Kenny Golladay.
Devontae Adams is getting paid $14 million a year and produces more.
He misses a lot of games. He didn't produce more last year, but okay.
I'd rather have Golladay over Devontae Adams any day.
Bro. All right, Keenan
I
Allen.
don't know about
Keenan Allen
that,
is
but
$11 million a year.
Yeah, but you got to look at when these guys get paid, because every time the top guy gets paid, the standard for wide receiver goes up, just like with all of those skill positions. So
Right, how
11
about
million
this?
when Keenan Allen got paid was a lot of money. When Odell got paid, 18 million was ridiculous.
All right,
Now
D. Hopkins.
the lowest bar Kenny Golladay could get paid is 16 million, because that's the going rate for a top, like I'm saying top 10, not even a top 5. The going rate for a top 5 receiver is probably 18, 19 million. But for where he's at, he should be getting at least 16 or 17.
Around that top 10 is like D-Hop, Mike Evans type money, and they're a little bit under 17. If I'm looking at D-Hop, Mike Evans, and Kenny Golladay is last out of those three. I'm not going to pay him more money than what he's worth. I don't care if he's performing well or whatever. It just doesn't make sense just because he's the next wide receiver. No. Just because he's the next wide receiver to get paid doesn't mean you pay him top dollar. That's what the league is having a hard time with. Dak, the reason why Dak isn't getting a contract is because he's not worth more money than every other quarterback. Yeah, he could get paid easily, but they're not going to give him top dollar. Not every player deserves to break the record. Look, all right. They do that for every position. The wide receivers, every wide receiver, the next wide receiver that needs a contract, they get paid top dollar. Same thing with like the running back.
But
Same
I'm
thing with the
asking
cornerback.
is Kenny Golladay an elite wide receiber?
No, he's an
so
above
because
average.
He's not top 5.
I don't know
he's not
about
elite,
that, man. I really don't.
because he's not top. Like, he just led the league in because he's not top 5. He's not elite.
Last year.
Can he get separation? Can he do it all? No, he's not the greatest route runner.
You don't
he
have
does
to
not
do
get
it all to be
separation.
elite.
And
You don't have to do it all to be
got
elite. You have to
separation
get
that
productive.
much.
All right, so
You
then
have to be productive.
that's like saying Larry Fitzgerald is an elite receiver. He catches everything his way. He can get
No, but he doesn't have the
separation.
numbers.
He had over
doesn't have
1,000
numbers.
yards last year and 11 touchdowns. That led the league.
Guys, we have a lot of comments with questions, and we've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. So just quick takes, guys. Stop giving your rebuttal.
Listen, I was sitting here, listen to this, and I'm just listen. I think y'all both made very good points, but let's try to put it into a better perspective. All right, the highest paid receiver right now is Julio Jones on average year at 22. Amari Cooper come in at 20. Michael Thomas come in at 19. AJ Green come in at 18. Tyreek Hill come in at 18. Odell Beckham Jr. at 18. Mike Evans at 16 and a half. Brandon Cooks 16.2. D-Hop 16.2. Adam Thielen 16.2. So to get to your question, Real, while they were sitting there having that verbal spar and I was enjoying every bit of it, the reality of it is this. The Lions are going to miss a great opportunity to pay a receiver, and they have to. And the reason you have to is because he's going to get somewhere between 15 to 16. If he hits the 18 mark, then you're talking about putting him in the top 10. I don't think he'll hit the 18 mark. That's the part that stands out the most. The cap will go up. We know that the cap is going to go up, but nonetheless, you have to pay the receiver. Not because you think he's elite, not because you think that, you have to keep him. It's because it's part of changing the culture. The word out on the streets is Detroit don't want to pay you. And if they do, they're going to ask for the money back. Go ask Barry. Go ask Calvin. Okay? Go ask Snacks and everybody else. So this is the thing. You have to change that stigma by saying to yourself, okay, right out the gate, what I got to do is I got to pay somebody. If you're not going to pay the players, you already got a problem. Like, for example, it ain't about who Kenny Golladay is better than. That's not the answer. Is he good for the Lions? Yes. Is he producing for the Lions? Yes. He's a 3rd round draft pick who's going to come up on his first contract. If you're not paying a guy off of his rookie contract a fair wage, then everybody else that come in here gonna make sure that they get every penny in case you try to be slick with them. So to me, you have to pay them, and the fact that they have not paid them yet is the biggest indictment. Because if he goes out and ball, the price only goes up.
Look, I know we got to get to these questions, but listen, I got to push back a little bit because what you're saying is you don't think he's going to hit that 18 mark. Okay, but what if his agent is demanding $20 million? Did the Lions
Why we
pay him
gotta be
just?
pessimistic about this though? Like,
Whoa.
Yeah, but that's
Look.
That's what they do.
He's a top player. Okay. If he leaves the Lions and he hits the free market, somebody will make him the highest paid receiver. So the fact is, why wouldn't his agent be demanding top market money? So he is going to be demanding top market money in my estimation.
This is the art of doing business. I don't understand why people don't get this. When you go into a car dealership, just because the price tag says $40,000 does not mean you got to pay $40,000 for the car. That's what they started at. They know you're gonna want to take some money off.
But so it's not a dealership. This is an auction. This is an auction.
What you guys don't understand is even the top. All right, Josh Norman got mad money. Tre'Davious White, like. There's so many players that don't deserve the groundbreaking contract for their position, but they do because they're above average and they're the best on the market at the time, or they're the one that needs a contract.
Yeah,
like
Rick
is
Wagner.
Amari Cooper? Is Amari Cooper the number two? Hold on. Is Amari Cooper the number 2 receiver in the league? No, but they paid his ass because he needed a new contract. Is he worth that money?
That wasn't why they paid him.
But that's Amari Cooper. That's the Cowboys, though. They always do that.
This is what's going to happen, though, with the Lions because it happens for everybody, every position. Quarterback. Derek Carr's got mad money, bro.
Pardon me.
Hold on, Andrew. I'm going to ask you one question.
J-Mo.
No, hold on, one question.
No, J-Mo.
Hold on. Based on what you just said.
J-Mo, you got to fall back.
Based on what you just said.
J-Mo, you got to fall back on this. Please, let me just do
hold on, Luke. I'm not gonna fall back. So just let me talk, man.
Oh my!
Just let me talk.
Go ahead.
Based on this, that means we shouldn't have paid Matthew Stafford, the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Matthew Stafford is literally not even top 10 in contracts. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. No, I'm talking about when Matthew Stafford was due.
He got paid.
He was the highest paid player in the league.
Right.
And J-Mo, as you continuously say, the quarterback is a very important player in the team as a wide receiver. If you have a beast quarterback, do you honestly need a Kenny Golladay? Y'all are debating it, right? So why do you need a Kenny Golladay if you're so good of a quarterback? When you have Marvin Jones and you have Hockenson,
has a great receiver.
All right.
Okay, we got to move on, guys.
That was a good debate, though. I like that. That was a good debate, guys.
I just want to say this, and then we can move on. The example J-Mo gave was ludicrous because that's not the same thing. You can't equate a quarterback's contract to a receiver. That doesn't make sense. The second part of it is Andrew, you're wrong. They did not give that contract to Amari Cooper because of that. They gave that contract to Amari Cooper to justify them trading the first round pick for Amari Cooper. So
bro,
in order I know
you can't say that, bro. You cannot say that.
Think about this. If you trade a first round pick when the other team, the Eagles, was only offering a second, and now all of a sudden you let him walk, you wasted that first round pick.
So you'd rather double down and say, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to show I'm wrong, and I'm going to spend $100 million?
Listen,
that's what Jerry Jones does, bro.
They don't have no choice. What were they going to do? Draft the receiver with that first round pick that they traded away? Oh, wait, they traded it away. So they had to justify that pick because at the time, everybody said you gave up a first when nobody was offering more than a second. Why couldn't you offer a second with like a fourth? He said, no, I want to get a first. And then it messed up everything because now you have to pay him. Because if you don't pay him, and now he want to play games with his quarterback and Dak Prescott because he had to pay that guy who he had to justify that first round pick for.
Hey, man, if that's how you think.
Okay, yeah, we need more time to get really into this so we could all, give our perspectives fully.
All right, hold on. No, I just want to say one last piece. I'm so sorry.
Here we go.
So my point is that when you look at the market, I'm going to just read you the list of cornerbacks making average per year. Darius Slay is number 1. Then Byron Jones, Xavier Howard, James Bradbury, Patrick Pearson, Trey Waynes, Kyle Fuller, whatever, and so on. Are those the top cornerbacks in the league? Not a fucking chance. But they literally were free agents, and they're like, you know what? I'm above average. I want my money. And teams are paying it because they're the top free agent available, but they're not the top cornerbacks. And that's the same crap that's going to happen with Golladay. Galladay's going to ask for a crazy, ridiculous contract. And if you pay it, you're an idiot.
No, that's not the same. No. Those cornerbacks getting paid is not the same because when the best cornerbacks come up, when the top 10 cornerbacks come up, they all get paid. Golladay is a top 10 receiver. He has to get paid. Like,
So
you
if
don't
he
draft
wants
a guy in the
20
third
million,
round
you
and he
paying
makes a
him?
Pro Bowl and then you don't pay him.
Yeah, so
Okay.
so
Especially when you
that's the
got
real
money.
question.
If
Are
he
you going
wants
to pay top dollar for Kenny Golladay, like literally top 3
20
at
million
his position?
a year?
I didn't say top 3. See, we always reaching for the stars. He's not going to get 20 mil. He's going to get 16 or 17 million. It's not going to be
that's not
21
what I'm saying though, is because every player in his position does get top money for his position. That's literally the most common thing in the NFL.
So J-Mo, I think what Andrew's trying to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, so we can end this finally. So listen, if Golladay comes forward and says 20 million a year, or I'm walking because another team will pay me that, are you doing it if you're Bob Quinn?
No, but that's not gonna happen. He's gonna get paid.
All right.
He's gonna stay with the team. Like, watch when he get paid, we gonna come back to this, and I'm gonna be like, I told y'all.
Mark my words, J-Mo.
All right. Angelo says, do you think our new DC will be better than our old defensive coordinator? Jim, answer this one, man.
Yeah, I think he will be. I think that it's still going to be Patricia's defense. It's going to be run. There'll be some subtle nuances that are different. I think maybe the way the guy coaches may be different, but I don't think it's going to be a lot different. I really don't.
Okay, all right. You can call me Funk. Says question, who's AKA Funky Nuts.
Let me hit that question really quick if it's okay. I'll be quick about it.
Which one? This one?
The DC one.
Okay.
Listen, we were 31 and 34. I know y'all think of yourself 34. It's only 32 teams. Yeah, we were that big. Okay. Is he gonna be better? It's water all over the earth. I mean, it's like it's not hard. And then be honest with you, it had to get better because I believe that he wasn't calling the plays. I think Patricia was calling the plays, and I almost got proof to show it, but I just don't know how to put it into video form. But nonetheless, he's still gonna be calling the plays. They just brought Underling in to kind of be like the DB guy. But guess what? We're gonna call him a defensive coordinator because that sounds better than the DB guy. So yeah, he's got to be better. It has to be.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like Patricia is still going to be calling the plays. I think he was calling the plays, so he's going to be the defensive coordinator, and Underland's going to be is going to be a DB guy. I agree with that. But you can call me Funk. Says Ane getting drafted would have possibly cost Romeo Okwara his job. Why is it that people who talk about this team fail to realize we only use one DE and Trey is that role? Okay, so J-Mo said this earlier. We are not a fixed 3-4 defense, even though we were pretty much a 3-4 defense last year. That's because of the personnel we had. Patricia touts himself on being able to switch up the scheme game by game and whatever. I think if he had more DEs, we would have more of our scheme be a 4-3 defense. Maybe not, but I think even regardless, the value of Ane at that pick, and I know you also commented earlier, Funky, that you said that he was only a day 2 prospect because that's what the fans were saying. No, that's not true. That's what every analyst was saying. Every single draft board had him going in the 2nd to 3rd round. So that's not true at all. That's like saying that Okuda's only a top 3 pick because the fans wanted it, or Simmons or something like that. Like, no, that's what the analysts were saying. That's what everybody that's watching film was saying. Nobody had him going that far. But again, that's my opinion. I had to take this one because you guys know how I feel about us taking that New Mexico running back. Okay, so I'm looking for another question. You guys see a question up here?
Yeah, I got one.
I'm about to say you got to scroll up because a lot of them came earlier before Andrew started disrespecting Kenny Golladay. So you got to go up.
So I keep seeing this thing about Ragnow. Can Ragnow be the best center next season or like top 3? And Ragnow was a top 3 center this past year. It just got overlooked because of how poorly we did as a team, as well as our O-line as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll say something. I think Ragnow and for a while is going to be at worst a top 7. Like he's going to be top 5, top 3, top 7 every year. He's a complete stud, a great pick by Quinn that he doesn't get any credit for. But I think he's going to be a great center for the rest of his career, so unless something happens to him. But we ain't going to wish none of that. But he's going to be solid, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see a question. I see a few questions. Peter, he says, Is Simmons getting 100 tackles? If they use him how they use Tyrann Mathieu, yes. Jay White, who are you, says, what y'all think about Stafford working out with the young guys? It terrifies the hell out of me. I mean,
Really?
like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I'm happy. I love to see that, but it terrifies me because it's like, does y'all get pre-tested? It's like almost like a porn, like the porn star. They stay with me. Just stay with me. Porn
You
stars,
worried about that Rona, man? They
No,
good,
no,
bro.
porn stars get pre-tested. They get pre-tested before they do they have their little quote unquote scenes. And I'm thinking like Stafford, did you get tested? You probably did. Did the rest of these dudes get tested? If they didn't, then you're risking something that you don't have to risk for the betterment of the team. It just scares me right now with this coronavirus thing.
I love it.
Like one thing I wanted the quarterback to be like, what is this virus? I don't care about no virus. Let's go out here and ball out in the rain. Like, I need that kind of quarterback, man. I love it, man. It's amazing. And it gets me very, very amped for this year. I know Stafford don't got no social media, but I know he's hearing that disrespect about Kirk Cousins and Jimmy G being better. So he was like, yeah, let me call up Swift because they got me messed up. And, they all live in Georgia.
Here was a question from Go Lions. Will we cut Bo Scarborough?
No.
Yes.
I don't think we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a yes.
I think we could.
Yes, we could. We can cut him, and I'm gonna tell you why. The reason you can cut him is because he'll be used the least of all the running backs. Think about it. He just runs the ball. He don't do nothing else. You can't use him out the backfield as a receiver. He's not that great as a blocker. He ain't returning or kicks or not. Yeah, you can cut him. You got Carry-On. You still got Swift. You picked up this dude from New Mexico that I know you hate. And you still got Ty. Even if you get rid of Ty, where does Bose fit in this rotation with those three running backs? They're going to use Jason Huntley like McKissick if he makes the team. And I think he will. But they're going to use him like McKissick. And then that they're going to run the 1-2 punch between Swift and Carry-On. So where does Bo fit in that? He's going to be the least used running back.
I don't disagree with nothing you said. I just think the Lions will be cautious, and because our running backs have been getting hurt so often, you'll keep 4 running backs, and he'd probably be one of them. That's just what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I think that he is the most in between the tackles runner. I get that you're saying like he doesn't do anything that special, but when he was running in between the tackles this past season, he was doing it pretty good. I think he had over 4 yards a carry.
I agree with that.
Right. So, yeah, I don't disagree with what you said, especially with all the running backs we got. I think that it's going to be a deep room and it's going to be hard to compete in there. But I think he does something. I think he runs in between the tackles probably better than anybody else that we have in the team right now. But we'll see. All right. So Kool-Aid and Cornbread says, should we sign Pat McAfee to punt? I think he brings swag to the Lions need desperately. Even if he is average, I would sign him. What do you guys think?
Do he want to come back? He got a very successful show on YouTube and all other stuff.
He's funny as fuck.
And he's right. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do he want to come back?
Look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. This don't got nothing to do with football, but I'm with Kool-Aid and Cornbread. Even if he average, I'll take him. I'm sorry, that's just me being biased. But if he wants to come back and if he's actually good enough to punt,
Wow. He's talking about the Lions, man.
I would love it, man.
I just don't know if he
might not have it, but you never know, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. To me, punter is different than kicker. Just put the goddamn ball up in the air. I mean, and down the field. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Kickers, you gotta kind of get the ball between a object. You got nothing but space and opportunity as a punter. So I'm just saying, you can get any punter. I think I'd pass on him if it was me. I don't know if he want to come back, but if he did, I'll still pass on him. He been sitting there chilling. I've been watching his little YouTube thing and everything, and he chilling. Cool. He ain't doing nothing with no leg. I'm telling you right now.
I don't know, man. Just for the comedy value, I'd love to have him here. I don't care, man.
Fire, man.
I mean, he's funny. I'm just saying.
I know.
Like I said, if he
it was kind of a weird question, but
go ahead, Jim.
No, that was done. I said that was just kind of a weird question, but I would do it.
We do need a punter.
Why not? We don't have one.
Okay, well, if he wouldn't have come back, I think I still pass. I mean, what you got to pay him?
Oh,
Like, let's be honest.
I don't know.
Would it cost more than would it cost more than the punters we already got on the team? It's fair to say yes, right?
I think he would be better.
I don't know. You ain't getting paid now, so.
I'm just saying.
Okay, this is a great question. Apparently, Sari Vanders changed his name to Harry Xanders, and he says if we had Sue now, will we have a chance to go to the playoffs?
Yes.
All I'm gonna say is if we had Sue, we'll be our defense would be great. Imagine if we had Sue right now, y'all. I'll be dancing every night, bro.
Man, listen, if we had Sue,
he's still pretty good.
If you had Sue's so good that, and I keep telling people this, go and look at as great as Aaron Donald has been. I think J-Mo got on me for this, but as great as Aaron Donald has been, he was even greater with Ndamukong Suh on the field.
Yeah, he was.
Like
nasty.
He's averaged like 11 sacks a season until Ndamukong Suh. That boy hit 22. You go over Shaquille Barrett. Shaquille Barrett was averaging like 8 sacks a season, maybe.
You know what though? With what the Rams are doing right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they did shop or at least entertain Aaron Donald trades. Because they kind of screw themselves in cap space, and they're not really in the position to go out and win a Super Bowl. So,
Andrew, I don't disagree, but I'm gonna say this: I trade Goff before I'm trading Donald. I'm straight up. I'm not trading. I trade Goff. I'm like getting rid of Aaron Donald.
The hopeful fan in me was like, "Damn, I'd give a first for fucking Donald and eat that cap space right now."
Anybody would in their right mind.
Bro.
Yeah, anybody would.
With Stafford, you got 2 more years on his contract, man. I'm giving him everything he could possibly need for a Super Bowl.
Oh, so you with me on the why don't we just take 1 year and just go all in and just see what happens?
Dude,
it don't work. It just don't work.
That, man.
Hey, it ain't worked the other way either, Luke. That's my whole point. Building ain't worked either.
Building has
got
worked.
A point.
Building has
not
worked.
for us. For us.
Listen, we ain't got to worry about what happens for us. The one part of our building has been missing as a coach, but the building has worked more consistently than trying to buy it. Go and talk to the Broncos; they feeling real salty.
Or Philadelphia.
The Saints tried it.
I just feel like none of those teams have Stafford.
The Rams tried it. The Baltimore Ravens tried it. All these teams who tried to buy their way realized that it don't work. It's not gonna work
because their quarterback was trash. Okay. I'm just saying, man, like if you put Stafford on that Rams team that they bought, you can't get me to believe they don't score more than 3 points in the Super Bowl. Like, I know what you're saying, though, but I just feel like we never tried to go all in.
So, well, a lot of times teams that do go all in are teams that have quarterbacks on a rookie deal, and they don't have to pay them $30 million, so they could get probably 2 or 3 really big impact players in place of that, but we don't have that luxury right now.
I mean, but the only 2 quarterbacks that won that way is probably Brady and Russell Wilson and Ben Roethlisberger. Other than that, it hasn't really happened.
No, well, you brought up, the Rams, they tried to win a Super Bowl, right? That was before Jared Goff got paid. Even Patrick Mahomes right now, that was, he's still on a rookie deal.
Patriots did it. They lost in the game that mattered the most. That's when they went 16-0. And they brought in Randy, they brought in every other name they could bring in that year and got to the game that mattered, and that money was poorly spent because it didn't count for nothing. They got smacked by a team who went through the wild card and made it to the Super Bowl. Just saying.
Yeah, their defense wasn't that good that year, though.
But they spent money on that defense. What you say?
Like, who did they pay? Like, their defense was like horrible with the 16-0 year.
They paid some money for that team. They did. They paid money for them people. I'm just saying.
Anybody want to answer this question up here right now?
Yeah.
To be fired by week 8.
Yeah, I think the answer is definitely there's definitely a possibility.
No,
if he goes,
he won't.
I would say
right.
No,
too. If we go 0-8, he's gone. What do you mean?
They usually don't fire mid-season. It's always been a Ford thing to wait to the end.
Yeah,
I don't care. Martha will.
They will burn Ford Field to the ground. Yeah. If we're 0-8 and they keep it.
They didn't.
Martha will call for a public execution if they go 0-8.
They didn't even fire Marinelli in the 0-16 season in mid-season, so they're not going to do it.
This isn't the same. I don't agree. I think he's
it's
gone.
Not the same. We went 0-16.
He's getting,
bro.
He's getting a 4th year. He's gonna get a 4th year regardless. Because they're gonna say COVID-19. He didn't have a full offseason. He didn't really get to do all the things, and all of the teams suffered. And that's going to be the reason he's going to stay for the 4th year. Now, the 4th year, he started off 0 and whatever, yes, but he's getting a 4th year regardless. I would be shocked if he did get fired mid-season because they don't do that.
0 and 8. You don't think you guys? What, dude? No, he's gone. If he doesn't start off hot, he's gone.
Real. Let them be insane by themselves. They're insane. We go 0 and 8. He is so gone.
He's
almost every coach that's on the hot
all
seat.
the years I watched them.
Yeah, but almost every coach that's on the hot seat gets fired in this situation.
Let's not talk over each other, guys.
Yeah, I think he gets a 4th year regardless. I know Jay White, who are you, says he giving him 4 years off rip. I'm not. This team goes another 4-12 or 6-10 or something, man. 4 years. Yeah. I think he's getting it anyway.
We'll see. Peter also said, "What the fuck happened to Sam Martin?" I don't know why you're using all caps, bro. We're right here. We can hear you. But Sam Martin's gone. He's on a new team. Isn't he on? Is it Denver? Yeah.
I got another question. It says, "Do the Lions need to improve this D line to have a winning season? Because to me, this D line is a huge red flag." And go.
Yes, hands down. Yes, I don't even got to explain it. Yes, and we talked about this recently, where I said the only thing that switched on that D line was we swapped out Snacks for Danny Shelton, and then people was like, "No, there's not. We got these people. We've had them before. We swapped out Snacks for Danny Shelton, and they usually don't have all 3 D linemen out there anyway, so it don't matter. So, who's the legitimate D lineman that's going to do anything? Who is that person?
Well, to me, it's not the starter. But look, to me, it's not the starters, it's the backups. Because if Han is healthy and Flower is healthy and even Okwara, even though he had a down year, if we're healthy, we're good. But NFL is 100% injury sport. So somebody's on the D-line is going to get hurt. And that's why our team isn't good. Because once those starting D-linemen gone, like if we lose Danny Shelton, who backing him up? Who? Nick Williams, he not a space eater. He's a pass rusher.
Dude that we just drafted.
That's what I'm saying. So my thing is, we're good if we're healthy, but it's 100% injury sport, and we need depth on the D line, and we need depth in the linebacking core. We're really hurting in that front seven.
Listen. I told y'all that this draft wasn't, and I was so happy that I've already declared that for myself, because this draft was not going to upset me one bit. Because like I said, for me, I see a bigger problem. And so if he gets a 4th year, if he bums this year, like he can't even win 8 games for me and be like, he improved. Bro, you way behind the 8 ball. Starting with that 6 wins the first season, the 3 the second. So getting 8, you didn't do nothing special. You still want under what your best is. So I'm just saying. So to me, ain't nothing he can do.
I got another question. It says, who would you start in the secondary? I don't know what he means by that.
The secondary is already decided.
Well,
I think so too.
All I'm going to say is every position up for grabs except for Tracy Walker position. Have fun.
No, it's not.
What?
The secondary is already decided.
I want every position to be up for grabs except for Tracy Walker's position.
Man, listen, Hartman and Tracy is your safeties. Your starting cornerbacks are going to be Okuda, Jasmine Trufant, and Coleman. They go in our base set is a nickel. They go your starting secondary.
Yeah. Coleman said it the nickel.
So you don't think Imani can do nothing to be starting, no matter if he's the best cornerback in the offseason?
Man, they don't care about that. That's why they gave $21 million for 2 years to Jasmine Trufant and then still drafted a corner.
I'm just saying, I don't think the positions are decided yet because they haven't went to camp yet. So
okay. Listen, let me help you. Whose spot is Imani taking? Is he taking the guy that they gave $21 million to for 2 years? No.
If he's better, yes.
Who pays $21 million for that guy to sit on the bench?
I've seen teams do stupider things.
We ain't talking about teams. We talking about the Lions.
If Imani is better than Trufant, I don't care how much I paid you. He's better than you.
Listen, J-Mo, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I see what you're doing. I'm with you. But stay with me for a minute. He's not taking a guy that they paid $21 million for 2 years spot. He's not taking a guy that they took 3rd overall spot. And if you're telling me he's taking Coleman, well, guess what? They made him the highest paid corner. He's not taking his spot. So
that's how you feel, and I feel like it's open because Akuda hasn't played it down in the NFL yet. Akuda hasn't played it down.
Overall
Trufont's never played in the system before. Like, I'm telling you, man, don't sleep on the money, man.
I'm not.
I don't even think he fits the team.
Listen,
Amani's going to be the starter after Trufont's gone.
Not only am I going to sleep on Amani, I'm already damn near dead because you don't take a cornerback 3rd overall if you felt that you had the person on the team already. You just don't do that. So they are already saying that this is what they want to be their starting corner. I mean, he may make the 4th one, like in a dime package. He might be that 4th corner.
Yeah.
But in terms of a starter, where we run a base nickel, whose spot he taking?
And if you look at New England, I hate to say this, but they love their secondary players. That's where they spend their money. They don't spend their money on their defensive line as much as they love that secondary. So they put most of their resources in their secondary. I think that's what we're doing as well.
Yeah. Yep. They believe that your sacks come from coverage.
Yep.
History say something different, but okay.
New England's won a lot of football games, though.
Yeah.
Motown says you think Harmon's playing strong safety because he thinks that he's more of a deep safety and he'd be playing behind Tracy, and Kirsten Harris would be battling over the strong safety spot.
No,
I don't like Harris. I don't think he's going to be battling.
They're going to do the same thing they did when they what's his name? Tavon Wilson got hurt for that little brief second. They moved Tracy Walker into the box and made the other dude the deep safety. They're going to make Harmon the deep safety and make Tracy Walker play the box, which is, I'm going to leave it alone. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't like that.
All right, guys.
You're probably right, but I don't like it.
Man, like,
all right, guys, listen, we've been on for 2 hours and 11 minutes. I think it's time to call it. It's been a great show. I appreciate everybody on the panel today, all the guys on the DSA that jumped on for the roundtable. Andrew, I'm not going to forget you this time. You're definitely part of the DSA. Andrew, Luke, J-Mo, and Jim, for sure. Why don't we say our closing statements and say goodbye to the people in the chat? Why don't we start off with you, Jim?
All right, everybody. Really appreciate you guys being in the chat. You're the MVP of the show because you guys keep showing up for a team that was 3-12-1, and we're talking about a lot of things that are going on in this team and during this whole thing that's going on right now. We're just trying to get our minds off that and onto some football. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate you subbing to the channels of all the DSA members. And I just wanted to have everybody out there know that we really, really appreciate you.
Absolutely. I think we could all subscribe to that belief. J-Mo, say your closing statements to the people in the chat.
What's good, everybody? Thanks for coming by. Make sure you like the video on your way out. If you want to hear my thoughts on how bad our linebacking core is, make sure you check out my video. The Lions, hey, man, I'm concerned. Lions, I'm just say this to you because I know y'all listen to every show. Don't be stupid. Sign Kenny Golladay. Now, that's it.
Okay. Now that's it. All right. Andrew, please follow it up. Please say goodbye to the people in the chat.
I don't think you can follow that up. I mean, per usual, I had a blast. You guys always are cracking me up, whether it's ridiculous things you say or, just something funny. You guys are always a blast. And I really appreciate the comments you guys are posting. So I love when you guys are on, make sure you guys tune in on Tuesdays, Thursdays to catch the roundtable. And since it is the off season and we got everything going on with the virus, we're going to be coming at you with some debates probably this summer. So stay tuned.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like everybody said here, thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you for hitting that like button and subscribing. Please subscribe to everybody in the DSA. Hit that description button, and you'll get all the links to all the members of the DSA, including the link to our website. It has all the news there. It has our Twitter feeds. It has when we're going to post, or it has our previous videos. It has everything. It's crazy. Jim made it. Definitely click on his channel, Lines on the Prowl. He's the man. And just in general, I appreciate talking Lions football like we have been these past few weeks. I love the debates. I love getting fired up and just having passionate conversations about the Lions. And even though we disagree, we're all family. We're all, part of one pride. We're all part of this community. Yep. So it's all fun and games, And I'm just going to kick it over to you, Luke. So why don't you say your closing statements to people?
Again, thank you all for coming and being a part of it. This is the best part of it, man. I was waiting so bad for today. Y'all don't even understand. I was living for it, and we are definitely committed to doing this. Again, this is the official Detroit Lions Roundtable. Do not be fooled. We are one of a kind, and that's because we want to make sure that the people who come here know their stuff, and that we are able to bring you a show that's entertaining. So that's what we want to do. But I always end the show on a positive note because I think that's needed. And I think today's positive quote is going to come out of left field, but it's a good one. Today's quote comes from one good guy Dowd, Mr. Chucky. So
I like how Luke just tried to say that like he didn't say the name he just said.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Listen, it comes from him. But this quote says this: I could have done a lot of things in my life, but I said F it. I did what made me happy. That was killer. What that tells me, ladies and gentlemen, is even for a murderous killer Dowd like Chucky, he understood that there is no such thing as limiting himself to things such as settling. That's right, people. That means that there is something that you know that you love and want to do, but you have been putting it off. It is time for you to take advantage of it. It is time for you to take that moment and simply seize it and take ownership of it and understand that you could have did everything else, but it wouldn't be the same as doing what you love. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and make sure you subscribe to all the members of the DSA. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research.